Call the August 17th, 2026 St. Clair Shores City Council to order. Abby, please call the roll.
Mayor Walby,
Here.
Councilmember Burgess,
Here.
Councilmember Karen,
Here.
Councilmember Rubello,
Present.
Councilmember Rusi,
Here.
and Councilmember Vitale.
Here. And Mayor for the day, Buckman is here too. Say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
I would like to move to excuse Ron Frederick.
Support. So we had what? Do we have?
Motion to excuse Councilman Frederick. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So we had Elliot Buckman here, who was part of St. Isaac Jogues, and we had a nice little fundraiser, and I was asked to have someone bid on. I think that was the part of the fundraising they had in an auction for Mayor of the Day, and so Elliot won Mayor of the Day. So we had him in this morning, and then had him kind of kick off the meeting here this evening. I hope he's enjoyed the day, and so I think now, what do we have next coming up here, Elliot?
Now we have a proclamation to Avery Herman.
So let's go down there, and you can carry that. That's what I usually do, and we'll have Avery come on up here and come into the center. And you need this mic, okay? Alrighty. Always great to give proclamations to young men here. And come on, Avery, you stand right here, and you can stand here. And let me read this first, and then we'll read it. Avery, I need my glasses. Sorry about that. You see glasses there, Bob? Oh, right here. Thanks. And let me read this for you, and then we'll have Elliot present it to you. So, proclamation to Avery Herman, Michigan Table Tennis Championship. Whereas the Mayor and Council of the City of St. Clair Shores deem it fitting and proper to publicly recognize young people from the city who attained significant achievements like Avery Herman. St. Isaac Jogues Catholic School 8th grader Avery Herman won first place in the juniors 14 and under division at the Michigan Table Tennis Championship held on May 2nd and May 3rd of this year. Now therefore be resolved that the Mayor and Council of the City of St. Clair Shores, on behalf of all its citizens, extend our pride and congratulations to Avery Herman for this outstanding accomplishment and wish him many more years of success. Congratulations, Avery. Job well done. How long have you been playing? You've been playing all your life? Put that mic up to him, Elliot.
11 months.
11 months.
What?
Wow. That's fantastic. And where was it at? Is it in Lansing, the championship, or was it
Howell.
Howell? Okay. Wow. You got great in 11 months. Well, on behalf of the city, we're proud of you. We wish you all the success. You plan to continue playing? I'd love to see you play. I'd love to see you play Councilman Rubello. He claims in the young days he was a good table tennis. We used to call ping pong player, but I don't really buy it.
The greatest, you'll see.
I think you'd kill him. So hopefully we can get that little. Would you take that on? Would you play Councilman Rubello?
But I'm listen, that
Oh,
was.
he's down. We got a little tournament here. My money's on Avery.
How many's going to spot me? I got 50 years back there. Okay, that was a long time ago.
Congratulations. We're proud of you. You did a very, very good job. Thank you. You're good? Good. Thank you very much. And then just to kind of conclude the day here, come on up over here again. You can get right in the center here. We, again, Elliot was fun to be with. I want to thank the departments. I know we had him over at the police station, the fire station. the library. Hopefully you bossed your brother around. Did he listen? No, typical of an older brother, right? But we tried to make it enjoyable for him, and he did a good job. He stamped some of the, actually we had him look at the Ridgeway property over here on Jefferson, and you would think maybe he approved it all, but we were going through it, and some of them he was approving parts of it, denying other parts of it. You'd love that, Candace.
I love that.
So it was interesting. So I hope you had an enjoyable day. We sure did, taking you around the city. And so we had him beforehand, have a little picture of him here early in the day. He was up here, and we got him a little picture and a name tag there. So we appreciate that. So we are glad to have you. And I hope you had a good day, Elliot. So thank you for coming. We appreciate it. Yes.
Mayor
Councilman,
Buckman,
yeah,
can you come in the center too and get a picture with all of us?
there you go.
Okay. You guys got me in a paintball contest.
Right here, sit in the center seat here.
And now a ping pong contest.
Elliot, thank you. Have a good evening. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
That was cool. Good guy.
I know. So cool. So cool. I love our city most of the time.
Gotta get organized. Hang out for 1 second here.
Pardon?
We will go back up to the top here with proclamations, presentations. So we're going to have the introduction of the new fire chief. As you know, Chief Piper left right around, I think, the beginning of June, and we did a search and settled on, we think, just a great individual with a lot of experience in the fire service. So we're going to have him going up here, our new chief, Greg Flynn. Come on up here, Chief Flynn. Welcome to St. Clair Shores. Tell us about yourself, Chief.
Sure. Well, good evening. Thank you. I was really looking forward. The previous mayor was much more difficult on and hard on us today over at the fire department, so this is quite a relief here. But good to be with you. I come from West Bloomfield Township, 28 years of service over there, 11 of those as the fire chief. Absolutely loved my time working in municipal government. And very much looking forward to the time here in St. Clair Shores. I can tell you since July 6th when I started, nothing but a very, very warm welcome from the team at the fire department. Very hardworking. Watched them in action just last night on a structure fire. And they're not just hard at work. There's a culture at St. Clair Shores Fire that's very rich. And they're a team. And I very much feel like I'm part of that team. They're compassionate. And I saw that compassion come out on the softball field when we threw the game so that the police officers could win. And that they can feel good about themselves in the community, much like the firefighters. So it's a great team to be part of. I want to thank the city manager and the deputy city manager for the opportunity, along with council, to serve as your fire chief. And very much look forward to the engagement and the care that we put into fire, EMS, and rescue services.
Fantastic. Again, we welcome you to St. Clair Shores. We're excited to have you, and actually, it is great that we made a quick transition. Sometimes they can be long, so we are ecstatic to have a person of your quality and your service here. So we appreciate it. We look forward to many years of serving with you, Chief Flynn. So thank you.
You bet.
To me, sometimes this is a little bittersweet because this is the next one, which is kind of the end of summer. But, I mean, it's a great event, but it means summer is kind of winding down here. And it, of course, is the Harper Cruise. And we're going to have Sherwood Kiwanis come up here for the Harper Cruise, which is Wednesday, August 26th. I hope you take that, not in a bad way, but it does seem like summer has moved on. Dr. Papa, you been out playing pickleball, or?
Yeah, I played today for about 2 hours,
Nice.
which keeps me in shape.
Are we going to introduce everybody too? Can you pull that?
I'm gonna say something first.
Okay, can you pull that mic down, Doctor?
Yep, okay.
Thank you.
How's that?
Great.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, distinguished city council members, audience in the chamber, and everybody viewing on TV. Yes, it's Harper Cruise time again. The only car cruise in southeast Michigan where 100% of the proceeds go to charity. Next, I'd like to introduce the Kiwanians. Okay, first we have Sue Crow. Next, Teresa Holder. Next, Walter Hooper. We have our president, Andrea Strutz. We have our treasurer, Diane DeAnker. We have Mike Denowith. We have Virginia Hyatt, Kat Spellman, and our president-elect, Mike Boyle. The reason why we have a good crowd here tonight is I promised to drink at Sabby's if they showed up after.
It's a good call, Doctor.
Or I'd be here by myself. The cruise is Wednesday, August 26th from 5 to 9. The route is the same from 8.5 to 12 mile. Thanks to our 162 sponsors who dug deep to help the kids of St. Clair Shores. We have 30 open parties along the route. You don't have to know anybody to go in an open party. That's why an open party. And more than likely, if you go in the open party, you're going to see somebody you know. Roy O'Brien is again our corporate sponsor. Thanks go out to Roy for all he does for us and the community. Thanks to Amy O'Brien Kravitz and Sasha Murphy, who did a great job. Sasha does our Facebook page for the Harper Cruise. Roy is again hosting his party down at Kroger parking lot at 9 and Harp, which is also ground zero for the cruise. This year is Bubba Barbecue and Cheese Pull food trucks will be at the location. Games and plenty of great cars to see there. Need a cruise t-shirt? Basically, Shorewood's going to have tables every half mile along Harper Avenue. Both shirts and Green Harper placards are for sale. These have become very popular, too. Those are sponsored by Cruise and Media, and we appreciate everything they do for us. Cruise headquarters will be at Angie's Toy Chest, located on the east side of Harper, 1 block south of 10 Mile. Shirts are, again, $20, and you can see what they look like. I think it's a great shirt. They're really selling well. Our pre-cruise locations are Village Market, Roy O'Brien, and First State Bank at Harper and 9.5. And I'm going to suggest, if you want to get a Harper Cruise t-shirt, get it early because we're kind of predicting a sellout because pre-cruise is crazy. Our 3 charity partners this year are Kids on the Go, Angie's Toy Chest, and Motor City Mid-Emission. This cruise requires year-long planning, and Shorewood thanks the City of St. Clair Shores for all they do. Also, a shout out to the St. Clair Shores PD for letting cruisers cruise and not being overly restrictive, a la Woodward Avenue. This cruise is Shorewood's #1 fundraiser. Please donate generously. Our programs are many, including our Keep Kids Reading program, which is kicking off as soon as school is in session. We do this program to try and help increase reading scores. Looking forward to seeing everyone at the cruise. Plenty of great cars to see up close and enjoy the evening and be safe.
So it's Wednesday,
Wednesday,
August 26th.
yep, 5 to 9,
5 to 9.
yep.
Fantastic. We want to thank you not just obviously for the Harper Cruise, but again, we had you about, I don't know, could have been a month ago, 6 weeks ago, out at the pickleball, the Kiwanis courts out there. We can't thank Shorewood enough for that donation and for decades and
they are
decades.
packed.
Pardon me?
They're packed.
It's just, it's fantastic. And years ago, it seemed like it was more older people, but now, as we have talked, it's across all ages here now.
It does.
And it's
Yeah,
just
and
fantastic.
the younger kids are better than us old guys.
But more than that, you've been in this community for decades upon decades and have given back just countless times. So we truly are thankful for Shorewood Kiwanis. And I know I say that on behalf of the people of St. Clair Shores. So we look forward and pray for a good day on, a good weather day on August 26th. And we'll see you out there, and the people come by the boatload to see this event. So it's a great one. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and council.
Thank you all. Thank you. Item 3 is audience participation, a 2-minute time limit for something that is on the agenda. Abby, do we have anything? We have no one, okay. So, item 4 is the appointment of the attorney magistrate. We have Joe Cozzolino and Patrick McKay. I know we got Andrea here, the court administrator, so I think she's bringing them both on up. Good evening. Andrea, how are you this evening?
Good evening, great Mayor. Good evening, council members. I'm here for the approval of 2 magistrates at the 40th District Court. We do still have Genevieve Taylor, Magistrate Genevieve Taylor, serving in the capacity of magistrate. However, she is also, some may know, running for circuit court judgeship, and that is consuming a lot of her time. And also, she has taken another position as a magistrate with the county, just as of recent. So while she's serving dual currently, dependent upon the election and results, she may be moving on. So traditionally, we try to keep at least 2 magistrates on staff. To my right is Mr. Joe Cozzolino. To my left is Mr. Patrick McKay. Both individuals have met with both judges and expressed their interest in the position for magistrate. They both bring a lot of experience. Mr. Cozzolino actually has been a magistrate for Macomb County for over 23 years and was kind of looking to not have as many hours and have such a full-time position and commitment to the county. And he lived in St. Clair Shores, so it was kind of a match made in heaven there. And then Mr. McKay also expressed interest, met with both judges. They were delighted to meet him. He brings a lot of experience, litigation experience in the courts in several different areas, and has been practicing for approximately 18 years. So as far as budgetary concerns, there are no differences, no changes in the budget. The magistrates have 2 half-days per month where they hear small claims cases and code enforcement cases. And they're otherwise, other than that, they fill in for judges as needed when and if they are at mandatory training or education that is required by the state. So that budgetary line item will remain the same. We're not asking to increase or change that at all.
Okay, questions? Mr. Rubello?
Yeah, I think, Andrea, you just, at the end there, just hit about what I was going to say. What do the magistrates actually do? And they sort of do a lot of the, every case is big, but they do some of the minor cases to help alleviate the court system.
Absolutely. There's a 6-page local administrative order that will have to be submitted to the state, which outlines what can and cannot be done, what their authorities are. And really, it's any cases less than 90 days for traffic, municipal cases, a lot of the sports and fishing cases. There's certain things with bench warrants that they can sign, search warrants, things of that nature.
And I get the other
Arraignments.
thing, I know Candace has a few questions, but thanks for getting those resumes.
Yeah.
Mr. McKay, what do I do? You look very familiar to me, okay?
I've been part
Not
of
that
the-
I was in front of you for anything, okay? but-
Now we know.
I've been basically part of the Hockey Association for 10 years. I've been the vice president for 5 or 6 years. I've been on the planning commission for 6 or 7 years. so
Okay.
I'm around a lot.
Did you have an office on 10 Mile?
No.
Okay, all right. That's it.
Mr. Vitale?
Magistrates. I suppose not as much a question as a statement, in as much as I probably won't have the chance to address you again if and when you receive the position of magistrates. But I want you to know that when it comes to the code enforcement blight cases, your predecessor has been problematic for the city. And I'm just going to be honest about that because I have to face the residents who come to me and they say, my neighbor built a shed, it's not on a foundation. We went to court on it. And the magistrate said, well, he never put it on a foundation, so it's not a permanent structure, so it doesn't have to be on a foundation. That kind of absolute ridiculous decision, I have to explain that to a resident. And that's not the only one. So I do hope you'll keep in mind when it comes to issues of code enforcement and blight and things like that, that the other side of the case isn't really the city. It's the resident who has to deal with the rodents. It's the resident who has to have the diminished property value that has to deal with the hoarder or something like that. And then I have to go back and try to explain to that resident, listen, this is why nothing's getting done. So I just, I hope you'll keep that in mind.
Ms. Rusi.
Thank you. We do have your resumes in front of us, so thank you for that background information. Could you introduce yourselves to the residents and talk a little bit about your employment experience, your educational background, why you feel you're qualified to serve as magistrate and do some of these administrative hearings and other responsibilities of the role?
Hi, my name's Joe Cozzolino. Been a resident, first of all, of St. Clair Shores for about 35 years. I graduated a long time ago from the University of Detroit School of Law. Was in private practice for probably only about 2 years before I joined the Macomb County Prosecutor's Office for a little less than 20 years, and retired from there. Then became a magistrate at the 42nd District Court up in New Baltimore, and was there for about 23 years, where I did exactly the kind of cases that Andrea just outlined that are the duties of a magistrate here in St. Clair Shores. So I think I'm fairly well versed in those kind of cases, and I certainly understand, Councilman Vitale, what you're addressing in the frustration, because those are very difficult kind of cases sometimes. That's about it, and I'm a member of the State Bar of Michigan.
Hopefully. I know for being a magistrate, you don't have to, right? It depends.
I think non-attorney magistrates wouldn't have that ability.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, yeah, no, I'm glad, I'm glad you have the what I feel should be the proper background for this role.
I'm also a certified, hold the bar card as well. For almost 18 years, I started at the law firm I'm at now in 2006, right out of law school, as a before I finished law school. So I was a clerk there for 2 years, been working there for 18 years. Done a lot of municipality works, dealt with a lot of municipalities. My firm does a lot of that. I've been an assistant prosecutor and helped out prosecuting the cases with, my partner Rob Booth and Rosemary Davis in my office that do those. I don't do as much of that anymore. I do a lot of commercial real estate transactions, a lot of landlord-tenant, commercial landlord-tenant, and I just have a very unique background. And most of you have met me throughout the years. I'm a lifelong St. Clair Shores resident. My parents, lived in St. Clair Shores their whole life. My grandparents almost their whole life. So I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. I was excited to, have this opportunity. So.
Okay. No, thank you for wanting to serve the community in this capacity. I know it can be difficult in any sort of role where you have to act as a judge and make decisions and listen to a lot of different facts, weigh them, and actually ultimately come down on one side or the other, which can be difficult sometimes. Andrew, I do have a question, though. Referencing, I guess, he's glad to have this opportunity. Was this opportunity posted or anything? How did people know that this was available to apply or make themselves available or offer themselves up to the court for this type of appointment?
So magistrates are an appointment. There is no any kind of interview process, formal not interview process, I should say, because they both interviewed with both judges, but there are openings from time to time, always, and anytime anyone has ever asked, we've always said, submit your resume and cover letter, we will review it, they will meet with judges. We're not, there's no maximum amount of magistrates that one can have, or one court can have, according to the statute, but it is an appointed by the judges of the court, per the legislation. It's an appointment.
Correct. No,
Yeah.
I was just wondering how they became aware that this appointment this appointment opportunity was available to put the application, have the interviews, et cetera.
So with Mr. McKay, he reached out to the court. I believe a lot of people learned after Magistrate Metry had passed away that there was an opening there. We did not post it for several different reasons at that time. He was the only individual that did reach out to the court during the time frame between March and as of current. And Mr. Casalino, the judges both know through being a magistrate at 42nd District Court, and learned of his availability and his knowledge and background, and had me reach out to him.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Karen?
Thank you. So just to confirm, both Judge Fratacangeli and Judge Oster agree with both appointments?
Yes.
In that? Okay. Because they're basically filling in for them and
They are.
handing off their judgment to these
Yes.
gentlemen in their stead.
Yes, and
Okay.
both gentlemen did meet with both judges
Okay.
in person, and
So with that, I'll make a motion to appoint Patrick McKay and Joseph Casalino as magistrate to the 40th District Court.
I'll support that.
Moved by Mr. Kieran, supported by Ms. Rusi. Any questions or comments? Mr. Rubello?
Just a comment. Great to see both people, like, with St. Clair Shores connections and so forth, so that's a plus. And as Mr. Vitale stated, he's, very interested in blight. I'm very interested in giving the business owners, a good ear and working out with something with them, as Andrea probably knows that by now. But
Yeah, okay.
good luck, you guys, if they come out.
Ms. Rusi?
I think a point does need to be made, though, about
Yeah, we're just,
yeah, we are an important, but we're not here to dictate the type of
That's right,
judgments
right.
we want to see. There is a huge separation between what we do and what you guys do, and we need to respect that. So we're not here to give you orders about what we want you to do or how we want you to decide cases. I'm interested in fairness, and that's what we should be interested in.
and I think they'll deliver that.
Yep.
absolutely. And I will just note, just for future reference as well, with anyone that is interested in a magistrate position, they do have to reside in the jurisdiction.
Yes.
And we were fortunate that both individuals did. So,
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you.
thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Appreciate your service. That was 4 and 5. So go to 6, which is a request for BAS Security to close a portion of the Sunnydale Street during the Harper Cruise, which of course is August 26th between 5 and 9. Rick Burgess from BAS Security. Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council, and my wife. My name is Rick Burgess with BAS Security Systems. I am here tonight requesting approval for a temporary closure of a portion of Sunnydale during Harper Cruise from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Each year during the Harper Cruise, we host a Kiwanis Open Party at the BAS Security Systems building. This year, we have secured music. Part of our event is temporary closing. The small portion of Sunnydale would give us a safe area for the music and the people attending. I want to emphasize that we are not trying to prevent access from anyone driving through the area. You can also see by our drawing, oops, not up there. It's coming. We have a drawing to where people can go through the rear of BAS Security Systems building onto the alley. They can go through Tracks and Wax to get up back to Harper. It'll allow vehicles to get through the alley through Ardmore Park and back to Harper. So even with the small section closed, you can still see multiple ways for the people to get to where they need to go. The closure would only be for 4 hours from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. during an evening with Harper Avenue is already filled with people enjoying the cruise. Our goal is to simplify and create a safe, controlled area for the Kiwanians event and the music while we still maintain access for the closure. Appreciate council's Comment, so.
And then we may have questions, but just to clarify, Rick Burgess is the husband of Mrs. Burgess, Councilwoman Linda Burgess, and so
I will be abstaining.
she will be abstaining from this vote due to the fact that this is her business and that, so she already understood that, but I wanted to make sure the public understood that when the vote comes, there will be one abstention, and we know that. Questions? Ms. Rusi.
Thank you. So you mentioned this is an open party, so like Dr. Pappas was talking about, this is one of the parties on Harper during the cruise that anyone's welcome to attend and enjoy. So this isn't a private party for only your invitees. This is something that anyone walking by, anyone in the area could come and partake and have some fun and
Correct.
share in the experience, correct?
Correct. We've actually got it in the newspaper that CNG Source Centennial as an open party.
Okay, very good. And I assume you've talked with Trats and Watts, given the diagram illustrates parcel use of their parking lot for access purposes if necessary. They're cool with this too, right?
Correct.
Okay, great. And all the departments signed off on this review, no objections. Community development did mention using some barricades. That's obvious if you're closing it.
Correct.
But other than that, there's no, and we have the insurance certificate too, correct?
Correct.
Okay, I would move to approve.
Support.
Moved by Ms. Rusi, supported by Mr. Rubello. Any other comments? Mr. Vitale?
Yeah, well, I was going to make the motion to approve, but Councilwoman Rusi stole my thunder a little bit. Also based largely on the fact that we're still maintaining ingress and egress for residents at the end of Sunnydale.
Correct.
Not every business would have the opportunity to do that because they're not all laid out the same, but in your case, you do.
Correct.
So I can get behind this.
Mr. Rubello?
Just, it all adds to the excitement of, to me,
Harper
the
Cruise.
greatest night in St. Clair Shores. I just think it's fantastic. And you guys have always participated in things like that, so thanks for getting in there and making it a better night.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Rick, we'll see you on the 26th. Thank you.
Food is available too.
Item 7 is a request to amend the boards and commissions ordinance.
Delegates,
Oh, did I miss that one?
yeah, 7
Oh,
delegates.
sorry, yes, I
Yep.
crossed that. Item 7, request to appoint delegates for the Michigan Municipal League annual meeting on October 7th and 9th, 2026. I know in the past it's been Mr. Rubello and Mr. Frederick has been the fill-in, but I don't know if, Mr. Rubello, you still interested?
Absolutely. I enjoy doing that. It's right up my alley. So,
We'll need a motion to
Well,
appoint.
do we, and this is also for, oh, sorry. This is also for alternate chair. Ron's
Yes.
not here. Do you know if he's still
Yeah,
okay
he
with
does. He did
continuing?
I'm sorry, yes, he did communicate to me that he is willing to be the delegate.
Okay, great.
The
Thank you.
alternate, I'm sorry, the alternate, as he
Thank-
was in the past.
Great, thank you.
Mr. Vitale.
I'll make a motion to keep Councilman Rubello and Councilman Fredericks as the voting delegate and alternate.
Support.
Moved by Mr. Vitale, supported by Ms. Burgess to have Councilman Rubello as the delegate and Mayor Pro Tem Frederick as the alternate to the Michigan Municipal League annual meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 6-0. Thank you. Now we'll go to 8. Request to amend the boards and commission ordinance. Ms. Rusi?
Thank you. This dates back to when we had the recommendation from the Compensation Commission on the issue of council salaries, and the raise there was approved or not voted down. And we started talking about, well, if you look at stagnation of wages, look at the boards and commissions, which some of these commissions, some of these boards do get compensated, the residents on them get compensated for their service. It's a minimal fee of, I think, like $10 or $15 a meeting, depending. This has been the same rate forever. I don't think we could find a record in city records of it being anything else. So this has been for decades. Their payment has been the same. And so we thought, well, maybe we should look at this, just like every discussion about raising our wages can be justified by some people on certain things. The same arguments could be made, and even more so, I think, about the resident volunteers we have who are giving up their time in service to the community on things like the ZBA or the Planning Commission. Beautification Commission, et cetera, who not only attend the meetings, do all the homework before the meetings, they also give their time away from their meetings too. So we wanted to look at the ordinances that are behind this, because we need to look at, okay, is this an issue with the ordinances? What do we have to do to change this, to start the discussion of, do we want to change the rate of compensation for some of these? And some committees don't receive any compensation, even though the volunteer members work really hard, which can be fine, but a lot of times there are some of the same arguments justifying why we pay other committees that we might want to, or commissions or boards, why we want to talk about that. So anyway, we delved into the ordinances and found a lot of inconsistencies with the current ordinances. The current ordinances, if you look and you have it in the packet, this was a subcommittee of boards and commissions, which is myself, Kip, Ron, and Chris is the alternate. We are the ones who started initiating the process to bring this to council. Like any ordinance change, needs to be a vote on council. So we started looking at Article 3, the boards and commissions, and Article 23 for the Board of Appeals. Where did these payments come from? What is our authority to be able to pay these people on the committees? And it's very inconsistent. Like, you have the Parks and Rec Commission, there was a line in there, they shall receive a fee per meeting as set by council from time to time in resolution, which we don't have a resolution. We haven't done this from time to time, but it's within the Parks and Rec Commission subordinates. City Planning Commission also has its own references. Commission may be compensated at a rate determined by a council. All appointed members of the commission may be compensated at the rate. There's a few references to that. Some of these commissions, like the Communications Commission subordinates or the Beautification subordinates, they have been being paid by the city for decades, but there's nothing in here giving the authority like it is for the other commissions. So that's an inconsistency, which is kind of funny. So anyway, we spent a lot of time on this, and we thought, well, we didn't think, we know. Before we can start altering the rate of compensation for these residents who give up a lot of their time to serve on boards, commissions, committees, we need first to clean up the ordinances that our authority to do so derives from, and make it consistent not only to allow us to have these discussions about other committees or commissions or boards not addressed in here, but also to bring it up to date with how we have been doing it for decades, where we do have compensation. I think it's like, again, $15 a meeting or a quarter or something for the commissions like the Beautification Commission or the Communications Commission, where the ordinances were silent on the aspect of compensation. So the first step we have to do before we can discuss what these should be paid and make the resolution, we need to clean up the ordinance behind this to give us the authority to have those discussions. That's what you see in front of us. We're basically striking the individual references with some of these ordinances. Oh, we will pay the Parks and Rec Commission. We can pay the Planning Commission. Again, silence some of the other commissions. And we're putting a sentence in the general statement of purpose for the entire boards, commissions, and committees ordinance that states, it shall also provide for filling vacancies, city commissions, and we also have the next line then, because before it wasn't that, that we may provide for compensation for members of a board, commission, or committee in such amounts as matter as allowed or required by state statute or council, should be or council from time to time, as council from time to time determines. So it basically grants council the authority to issue a resolution to decide the matter of compensation for our different boards, commissions, and committees, how we want to do it, and it makes it a little bit cleaner than it currently is, which again is not clean at all and very inconsistent. So you can see the big change in terms of additions under section 2-68 by resolution, council may provide compensation for members of a board, commission, or committee. Such amounts of matter is allowed or required by state statute as council from time to time determines, which gives us the authority to have this discussion and then issue a resolution. We all serve on different boards, commissions, and committees. We are not compensated for that, but we know the people, the residents who do volunteer for these things, some for decades, do work really hard in their positions, from the Beautification Commission to the Communications Commission, Parks and Rec Commission, the ZBA planning, making important decisions for the city. And again, the compensation for those that do receive it has been stagnant at like $15 a meeting, while the compensation for council has increased over that time. So I think it's time that we do this for the boards, commissions, and committee members as well. And this is the first step to having that discussion, ultimately passing the resolution, setting any rates or higher rates than we currently do, which again, the ordinance says we have been paying for decades, where the ordinances are silent on that point of compensation for a couple of these commissions.
Which we
So.
kind of uncovered during the budget hearing, and
Correct.
right, and that's where it all kind of started.
No, it started when we started talking about, again, the wage increases for
Yes.
council. That's when it started. And we were hoping we would get this done by the budget, but it turned out to be a little bit more complicated than just passing a resolution, because we had to clean up the ordinances, and there are several of them addressing this to make it consistent, allow us to go forward with a big resolution addressing this versus what's currently set forward as. So this is the first step we need to do to give us the authority to have these discussions and ultimately do a resolution, clean this up, and doing that. So that's what we've been working on, and that's what you see before us. And the city attorney has worked on this draft as well. Thank you.
Mr. Rubello?
Okay, so, so Bob, city attorney, and who was the committee was?
It's the boards and commissions,
The boards and-
myself,
Subcommittee,
Councilwoman.
boards and commissions.
Russi,
You guys
and
are all on the same page, obviously, and this is
We were.
this is the
Took us a
final
number of
product.
meetings to get it correct.
Candace, you answered the highlights and whys and who's and whats and stuff, so I'll make a motion to approve the ordinance amendments to Chapter 2, Article 3, Chapter 48, Article 23.
Support.
Moved by Mr. Rubello, supported by Mr. Karen. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed. Thank you.
Thanks for
Appreciate
doing
that's
all
the
that,
first step.
guys.
Thank you. Yep, and we'll have then continuing discussions about,
Absolutely.
we'll probably bring, I would imagine, maybe a study session, we'll bring to the full body some suggestions on what we want to see, get some council input, and then that will come to a council meeting in the future to pass the resolution setting these rates. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 9, request from Lakeshore Public Schools to approve an additional St. Clair Shores police officer as a Lakeshore School Resource Officer. Chief Allen.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Evening.
I've been in discussions with the superintendent of Lakeshore Public Schools, Dr. Joe DePonio. He's here tonight to answer
Welcome.
any questions, if there are any. They would like to add an additional officer to their district as a school resource officer. We do have a juvenile detective that's assigned to each district. This would be an additional officer assigned to Lakeshore District to handle runs there. This plan has been approved by their School Board of Education at their August 3rd meeting. This would increase the police department roster from 84 to 85. The school district sought a grant through the Michigan Department of Education through the School Safety and Security grant system. They were awarded that grant for a total of $130,000 this year, which covers most of the costs of having an officer on the road or in that position with salary and fringes. That costs us about $150,000. So there's a bit of a difference there. Future grant money will be sought, and the intent is for the district to keep this officer there for the future. So if the grant funding wasn't available, they would make other arrangements within their budget to take care of the funding for the city.
So they're going to pick up the gap? If there's a gap?
There is a slight gap.
There is a gap, yep.
Yep.
So they're going to take care of that.
Right.
And then let's presume maybe they decide they don't want it, or a grant doesn't become available and they can't afford it. I mean, we as a community usually have a number of police officers retire, so that's not an issue, right? Because we are going up, but that's okay, since the simple fact that we always have individuals retire.
Correct. If council didn't, or council would have the choice to keep the roster at that elevated
We
by
could.
one number. But otherwise, we would just do through attrition at a retirement. We wouldn't lay anyone off or anything like that.
Okay. Councilman Karen.
Thank you. So describe the difference, because I think we've been funding the juvenile detectives for a long time, right? In terms of like one per district?
Right, the schools do pay into that. They reimburse 60% of the wage of the
Okay.
school, of the juvenile detective, and then any overtime associated with district events, baseball games, basketball games, football, special school board meetings that they require police presence for. So we have that at each district. Those are detectives that handle the follow-ups of criminal cases. That patrol usually would be the first responder to take like an assault report. And then the juvenile detective, if it involves a juvenile from that district, or if it occurred in that district, then that juvenile detective would be assigned to it. The court system with juveniles is so different from adults. We have them go to special training. They don't have judges, they have referees, they don't have arrest warrants, they have petitions. So it's kind of a different, a whole different kind of
Okay, so
system.
so I think you just laid out the main difference between school resource officer versus juvenile detective. School resource officer is going to be on patrol within that district, jumping from school to school during the entire day.
That's right.
You know, rather than have something having to be called into patrol, they're going to be closer to respond within that district, and that's the service the district's paying for.
Yes.
For that additional officer.
Right.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Mr. Vitale?
It looks like there's someone here from Lakeshore Schools.
Yes,
Their representative?
Superintendent DePonio is here.
Okay. Would you be willing to come up and commit on the record that you're going to make up that shortfall?
There he comes. Good evening, Doctor.
Good evening. Our board president, Kurt Ziegler, is also here, so I commit on the record that we're going to cover that, and we're in this for the long term. We value immensely the relationship that we have with St. Clair Shores Police Department and look forward to a strong relationship going forward.
Just to explain the reason that that's important to me is that, you know, we've had opportunities for grants for firefighters, and then the concern is, well, what happens after the grant? Who's going to fund it then?
Sure.
So I appreciate your willingness to fund it and commit to the gap, but this is an opportunity to go on record and get the credit. So
Absolutely.
look at it that way.
Yeah, prioritizing how we spend our dollars, safety is number one, so that would be the case moving forward.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Rusi?
Thank you. So would the SRO be involved not only during the school day, but also any sort of after-school activities, sporting events, that type of thing?
Yes. Right now, the juvenile detectives handle a lot of that on an overtime basis that the district reimburses for. So the school resource officer would also be doing that. So we usually have 2 people per event, so it'd basically be the juvenile detective and the SRO for their special events.
Okay, and do you see the other, I don't know if the grant is still open or not, but do you see the other, have you heard from the other 2 districts about pursuing this type of thing?
I have not. And I know other districts use the money for different types of things. It doesn't have to be for a police officer. I know Lakeview has some dogs that they use for safety and security purposes. They've instituted blue check devices within the school system. It's kind of like instead of pulling a fire alarm, they pull that if there's a serious incident and it automatically notifies dispatch. They could spend it on new locks, new security systems, anything like that. So I haven't been approached by the other 2.
Okay, yeah, I mean, if this model ends up being very successful for Lakeshore, which I think we all hope we do, you might want to initiate some of those conversations with the other 2 school districts about the experience and see if they would be open to researching or pursuing the opportunity as well, because, you know, you can have all the technology in the world. At the end of the day, you still need people to respond.
Right.
So.
And we do think this will be a good test for us to see how well it works, and then hopefully we could expand it.
Okay, great, thank you.
Ms. Burgess?
Well, I love the idea. Safety for our kids is number 1 priority, and I'm very grateful that the school district and yourselves are working together for this. And the day and age we live and the things we hear, this is going to be a great relief for some of our parents and staff, knowing that there is an additional security in place. And so with that, I'm going to move to approve increasing the PD roster by 1 and having an additional officer assigned to Lakeshore Public School as a school resource officer.
Support.
Moved by Ms. Burgess, supported by Ms. Rusi. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed. Okay,
Thank you very
great.
much. Thank you.
Have a good evening. Thank you, Doctor. Thanks, Chief. Item 10 is bids, contracts, purchase orders. The first one is request to approve the purchase of 4 police interceptors. Sergeant Campbell, good evening.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm here tonight requesting the approval to purchase 4 Ford Explorer Police Interceptors from Longhammer Ford of Owasso in the total amount of $195,150, which is state bid pricing. It does include delivery. And it's also budgeted for the police department in this fiscal year. Every year, the police department replaces aging scout cars. We take into account the condition, miles, repair costs. And as of now, we're planning to rotate out one of our K-9 vehicles, as well as replace a scout car that's been out of service since December. And then from there, fleet manager Donna Manzo and I are going to work with Motor Pool to determine what other 2 vehicles seem most logical to rotate out. We try to figure out what is cost effective for the city, obviously, and then any units that are rotated out, if they're worth keeping, we repurpose and keep within the police department, and if they're not needed, we offer them up to other city departments before we auction them off. And then as for the equipment that are in the current vehicles that would be rotated out, we always reuse as much of that equipment as we can as we build up the new vehicles for service. So with that, any questions?
Questions? Ms. Burgess.
I noticed that the dealer quote is $48,885 times 4, and that's a difference between, it comes out to $195,540, not $195,150.
One of the vehicles is actually less.
Oh.
Because it's a single spotlight vehicle for the K-9 unit.
Great, thank you for clearing that up.
Mr. Vitale.
Officer Campbell, I'm looking at the patrol fleet here, and I see 2 vehicles, 609K and 610K. Does the K indicate the K-9?
Yep, that is
Designation?
notated at the bottom, that that's a K-9 unit.
Okay, so which one would we be pulling out of service? We have an Explorer and a Durango.
We are working with with Motor Pool to determine which one would be most cost-effective to rotate out. They're both high in miles, and some of the K-9 equipment in it there's upkeep to it.
They are both high in miles and hours.
Yep.
And I guess the only reason I asked that question is if it ends up being the Dodge, then we'd have some additional upfit costs because we wouldn't be able to reuse all that equipment.
Yeah, we're going to be rotating. One of the vehicles is going to be kept on standby, so when one of the K-9 units goes down for maintenance, the K-9 officer can hop right into that vehicle and doesn't take the dog out of service or any of that. It can be used for training and those kind of items.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Need a motion? Yes, Ms. Burgess.
Yes, I will approve the purchase of 4 2027 Ford Explorer Police Interceptors in the amount of $195,150 from Ludemeyer, am I saying that right? Ludehammer?
Longhammer.
Ford of
Owasso.
Michigan deal number MA2400000012808, Macomb County contract number 21-18.
Support. Thank you. Moved by Ms. Burgess, supported by Mr. Karen. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed. 6-0. Sergeant Campbell, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Good evening. 10B is request to approve the custodial service contract. City Manager Dustin Lent.
The city went out for bids for our custodial service contract. We did receive this year 6 bids. The lowest bidder is our current provider, which is Do All Cleaning. As those of you who do remember previously when we went with did the bid, Do-All Cleaning came in second. We did change our provider. After approximately 6 to 8 months, we realized that provider was not providing adequate service. At that time, we did change some of our services. We went in-house and started on our recreation department. So our recreation department is actually done in-house. And then we also, as council is well aware, our police department kind of went out of service, and our library kind of went out of service of needing to actually be cleaned. So for the last year, a little over a year, both of those services have been out. However, with both of them now being very near to completion, we were able to hold our walkthrough with all 23 companies that did show up. Got to show them the police department, what it included, show them the library, what it's going to somewhat look like with the renovations. And like I said, we ended up with 6 bidders and the attached information. I will say this was on the last council packet. We did have to pull that because a lot of the information that was in the bid was actually not put in there correctly, so we had to reach out, go through everything, and we did compile that information in there so council can actually read it a little bit clearly. And then we also were able to fix some of the mishaps. We are recommending to go with the lowest bidder.
Questions? Mr. Rubello?
Dustin, Mr. Do-All guy, he's not here?
Nope.
He is not, nope.
Okay, which is sort of surprising. I mean, based on the amount of this contract. Because I wanted to ask him, and not that I think that you'll know, but the chemicals that they use, and this is a pretty simple question. Has anyone checked if these chemicals have been used on dogs or cats, anything along that lines? Because I don't want to get into the long-winded version of it. And I can't say I'm going to vote no every time something like this comes up. But I would expect somebody with a $585,000 contract, is that correct?
So that's the 3-year contract, yes. So the
The
yearly
3 years.
contract's about $192
Yeah.
for
Okay.
all the buildings. Yep.
Mr.
But I
Leonard?
can get you that information.
Anything else?
That was it, Mayor.
Okay. Ms. Burgess?
Just the budget impact total is off by 4,000. It's supposed to be 589, 531, 8.92. That's what I do. But I will make a motion to approve the custodial services bid award to the lowest bidder, Do-All Cleaning Incorporated, in the amount of $589,531.92 for 3 years, and to approve the blanket purchase order for year 26-27 in the amount of $192,548.29.
Support.
Moved by Ms. Burgess, supported by Mr. Karen. Mr. Vitale?
Just up front, so basically, we are continuing the contract with the company we're currently happy with, which has the low bid.
That's correct.
It's a pretty simple way to say it.
Yep.
Dave, I would point out to you, there is a page in here where it does say cleaning chemicals. Do-All Cleaning Incorporated has Spartan brand and Clorox EcoPro brand as our preferred chemicals for cleaning and disinfecting. So, I don't know, maybe you want to look into those.
I will.
Spartan brand and Clorox EcoPro.
Thanks.
But we'll also get you that answer
Yes.
directly from them, Councilman Rubello.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
5-1, it passes. Thank you. So 10C is, and actually C, D, E, and actually F, as we go here, just a little before Mr. Lent takes it from here. These are contracts that the city administration have been negotiating with many times for months, and it has come to us a number of times, some of them, in closed session. That's how contract negotiations work, the negotiation, and then Mr. Lent and Mr. Baumgarten come and talk about where they're at and how they are, and they always come to us in closed session before they come to the agenda here. So just, I tell you all that because we have been informed of many of this as we go forward. This is not the first time we have seen these negotiations in this contract. Again, it comes before us in a closed session, and we don't vote on it, but we want to know where they're at in that, and those things are legally into the closed session. And so with that, we will start down the road here with the request to approve the administrative regulation number 4.
That's correct. So as the mayor has stated, This right here is be completing all of our union contracts or our administration except for PEA, which will actually be on tonight's closed session to discuss. The very first one is the administrative regulations, which is our department head staff. So if there's any questions, please let me know.
Questions?
Move to approve.
Support.
Moved by Mr. Kieran, supported by Ms. Burgess. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed. The next one is the approval of the agreement with AFSCME. I'm sorry.
40th District Court.
D is a request to approve the administrative regulation number 4 for the 40th District Court.
Yeah, so this, as the mayor had mentioned, this is the same thing. This is not an actual union. This is the administrative regulations. These are the department heads and our court administrator over at the court, not at the municipal complex.
The first one was City Hall and the police department and
Yes.
the fire department. This is specifically for the court. Questions?
Move to approve.
Support.
Moved by Mr. Kieran, supported by Mr. Rebello. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed. 10E is the approval agreement with ASME Local 1015, AFL and CIO crossing guards.
Yep, this one is a unique one. This is a union that covers our part-time crossing guards. However, as we've mentioned up here numerous different times, in this contract, there is, obviously we worry about the safety of the schools, just like we did with the student resource officers. This is getting our crossing guards and the stop signs and the painting and everything that is in here that they would like to continue the safety of our children.
Questions? Mr. Rebello?
No questions. These guys they have a dangerous job, especially in the day of cell phones and people not looking while they're driving. So I thank you, Dustin, for getting that taken care of. I'll make a motion to approve the signed tentative agreement with ASME Local 1015A, AFL-CIO, crossing guards through June 30 of 2030.
I'll support that.
Moved by Mr. Rebello, supported by Ms. Rusi. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed. And F is request to amend the police patrol contract.
And as council is aware, we settled our police contract last year. We were a little delayed with our fire one. We officially got that one negotiated. There was a few discrepancies. We try to keep our public safety officers receiving very similar benefits. This is to do a minor adjustment to the police contract to mirror more accurately what the fire contract was.
Ms. Rusi.
Thank you. And I guess just a point of reference to the residents watching or in the audience. We're not going over the terms now, but like Dustin said, we had discussed this in length at closed session, and all the summaries about the term changes from what it used to be to what's going are on the council packet on the city website if someone's interested in specifics. And the actual contracts themselves, when executed, are public documents as well, so they would be available if anyone wants to review the actual terms and see the particularities of what we're discussing.
Absolutely.
Move to support.
Moved by Ms. Burgess.
Support.
Supported by Mr. Kieran to approve the amendment to the police patrol contract. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed. Thank you. 10G is a request to approve the sanitary sewer lining contract modification. I don't see Mr. Babcock here, but we have, I know Kyle. So we have AEW here, Kyle Seidel from AEW. Good evening, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Mayor and Council. Before you is a contract modification. On March 2nd of 2006, we had 5 bidders for this project. The low bidder was Inland Water Pollution Control, and a contract was awarded to them for $479,745. Of the 5 bidders, they were the lowest, and they've done a great job to date on the project that they've worked on. There is some remaining money in the budget. There is about $1 million budgeted for this line item, which includes both engineering and the lining process. We've identified an additional 6,600 feet of sewers to be lined, mainly in the south end of the city, but a couple in the north end. And we're looking for your approval to add to this contract at the bid unit prices, $327 $215. And one note is that when, on the original bid, they bid $800 for traffic control. There's two locations, one on 10 Mile and Harper, and one on 10 Mile and Labadee, that go into the 10 Mile right away, so they will need a Department of Roads permit, which they didn't need that in the original bid. So they asked for additional, they asked for $4,000 for that permit instead of the originally bid $800.
Mr. Vitale, question.
I will vote in favor of this because I think it's a good process. But many of you may recall I asked to see some sort of video photographic so we can maybe show residents at home what that looks like and what it looks like when we see the sewer routes coming into the city system. I've still not seen that.
That's something that we could provide to Dustin to share with the council.
I think that would make a great presentation.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's not a problem.
Ms. Rusi.
Thank you. Is this a similar circumstance to the contract we approved a modification to last meeting where it's more work was discovered, we have a current contract, time is of the essence, it's kind of an emergency basis, so we wouldn't have time if we wanted to even bid this out, we want to get this work done this season, correct?
Yes, very, very similar. The last one was actually more of the cameraing to go further and to be able to look.
Correct.
This is actually more of the repairs. The contractor is finishing up the work that we had just hired them for, and we have more work that they're able to do.
That we
And
wanna
they're
do
here,
this
let's
now.
keep them here working.
And it's, again, it's involving the infrastructure, so time is of the essence, we want to get this clean, this lined and done in the season.
That's right.
Okay.
And they're, like, as Kyle mentioned, they're willing to hold all their bid unit prices except for that permit process because it's a little bit different when you're crossing over some roads with the traffic control. That's the only thing that they're adding.
Okay, like usual, I'm not in favor of no big contract extensions, that's it. This is more of a time as of the, it's this emergency thing, using the contract we approved in the spring, and we do have additional monies available with this additional work that we need to get done. I could see that being justified, so, thank you.
Mr. Rubello.
I will recommend to approve the contract amendment and carry forward amount as recommended.
And with that, that's the additional money too for, you do need a little additional money for traffic control, right, Kyle?
That's correct.
And you-
That was what he was.
Yep, yes.
Support.
Okay. So, and it's moved by Mr. Rubello, supported by Mr. Carey. All in favor? Aye. All opposed, 6-0. Thank you. Ten H, request approval of the bid and purchase of a new ice resurfacing machine. Rob Spinizzola, Parks and Rec.
Good evening,
Director.
everybody. So this is a request to approve the bid and purchase of a new ice resurfacing machine. We have 4 machines currently. The life expectancy of one of those machines is about 15 years. 3 of the 4 of our current machines already are exceeding that. The bid for a new ice resurfacer was put out July 21st. Bids were open this last week, August 11th. We received 2 bids, and the low bid was from the Zamboni Company in the amount of $121,219.41. Our current fleet is all Zamboni machines. This is the first time I know that we've gone out to bid for the ice resurfacing machine in quite a while, if ever, because Zamboni is a Sourcewell product, and that's what our staff's familiar with. But thought it was important to see if anything else made sense for the facility. That cost does include the delivery and trade-in of our 1999 Zamboni. The new machine has a 2-year warranty, and we're expected to get delivery in May of 2027.
Questions? Move to approve. By Mr. Karen, supported by Ms. Burgess, to purchase a Zamboni Model 546 from the Zamboni Company USA in the amount of $121,219.41. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed. 6-0 passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then 10I is a request to award the bid contract for the pool building renovation. Mr. Spinizzola, and I know we have Ray Parker here of Hennessy Engineering, so.
Correct. Ray Parker is here from Hennessy Engineers, and Jason Harms, our aquatic supervisor.
Yes.
The group is aware, in fiscal year '24, we replaced the pump house One of the conditions of moving forward with that project was to have to bring the existing pool bathhouse to code by the start of the 2027 season, which means we had to make sure we had the appropriate amount of fixtures within the building, showers, sinks, toilets, as well as making the building ADA compliant. 3 options were brought to a February study session. One was to tear down the building and build new. One was to renovate the existing space, but keep our current occupancy levels. So our occupancy right now is, I believe, 1,150. And then the other option was to lower those occupancy levels and do a renovation, but it'd be on a much smaller scale. The direction from council at that meeting that I understood was to move forward with plans for a renovation and keep the current occupancy levels what they're at. At that point, we contracted Hennessy Engineers to put those plans together. The bathhouse is original to 1966, and to my knowledge, has not had any major renovations done to it. Noticeable items within the renovation would be enlarging the restroom shower area, the relocation of the concession stand and the lifeguard room, relocation of the boater restrooms to accommodate for the larger bath restrooms, changing location of certain access points that would allow for better traffic flow within our lobby, and putting on a new roof and raising the profile of that roof, as that current roof sits pretty low. Bids were put out on July 15th, opened on August 11th. We received 5 bids, with the lowest bid from Quadrate Construction. The total for the bid was $1,537,020.68. With the suggested 15% contingency, the total would come to $1,767,573.78. Like we said earlier, Ray is here to answer any design questions, and Jason is here as well if he has any questions that I cannot answer.
What about the references for the low bidder? Did you tell us about that?
Mayor, Council, so Ray Parker with Hennessy Engineers. We have not worked with Quadrate personally as a company prior, but I have reached out and contacted 3 of their references that they provided, and they all recommended them highly for the similar type of work, interior renovation as well as exterior. This is kind of a unique project with removing a roof completely and then doing renovations on the inside, but with their references, they came highly qualified as far as the reference pointed out.
And I followed up with some references as well, and I had heard the same thing, highly qualified.
Okay. Questions? Mr. Vitale?
What is the check-in room that is next to the existing bathrooms?
Is it?
It's just, what's the purpose of that room?
Jake, correct me, it's the front office space. Yep.
Okay.
Where people come into the lobby, it's kind of our, what we would call our front counter there.
Okay. It looks like they're mirrored, basically. There's, looks like an extension, basically, of the existing bathrooms. Is there a way, very economically, because the plumbing's right there, I'll start here. Yes, we were told about this. Yes, at study session, we directed for a plan that would keep occupancy levels the same, that would be a remodel, not a complete tear down of the building. I agree with all that. We never went into any more detail. And I suppose my problem with this is that this is the first time I've seen a blueprint, and we're now in August. This has to occur over the downtime. So is this essentially our last opportunity to provide input?
I think at this point, yes. I would say, I would add, though, when we actually did the pump house, actually after the council meeting, we actually did do some more, I'll call it, work with not only Hennessy, I think it was Hennessy and the company, and did do some re-engineering. Actually, if you recall, we drove down some of the price because we were working. We bought some of the equipment, so we did try to drive that down, and I think we would still try to do that here. But we are, I think, at the timetable here of about May 10th or something is a time frame where I think they have to deliver this building, right? Something like that is correct?
Yes.
So, May 15th. Okay, thank you.
Well, so
say that again. Can you just, Ray, you were in the.
Sure. We've spoken with Quadrate, and they are willing to work with us as far as value engineering. We did do design build for the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing, and they did bring up some balance points of ways that things could be minimized to not have to tear up as much of the concrete floor plumbing runs and things like that. But this also incorporated the kiddie pool and getting the pumps in the room assessed, basically relocating the pumps from the garage building to this building and getting electrical from that garage building all the way over to this building to increase the power for those pumps.
So here's my issue. This $1.5 million project is absolutely unbudgeted. We don't have anything in the budget for this. So this purely comes out of rainy day fund. And for as long as I've been on council, it's always been, you don't touch the rainy day fund. That is absolutely emergency. We don't take staffing money out of rainy day fund. We don't do anything like that. And now we are, and I've only got one meeting. I've had these plans in my hands for the weekend. Never sat down with anybody in staff. We built a police station, we had a subcommittee. We built a fire station, we had a subcommittee. We did a library renovation, we did a subcommittee. So I already know, because I was on fire, I know what opportunities we took to save money and to cost, and everybody had to justify what they did. I'm going to assume, knowing John's personality, police had to do the same thing. I know that Councilman Frederick and Councilwoman Rusi were on the library committee, and I know there was an idea to keep us within budget. The problem with this is the first time I'm made aware of it, and I'm told I have to vote on it tonight. And frankly, I see ways in here, and I would like to know why we can't move this is the first time I've seen the ticket from Eggle that says what we need to do. And I was always told kind of a nebulous thing about, well, we're not ADA compliant, and some of the, they won't grant us the permit unless we completely tear down the building and redo everything. And then for the first time ever, I see following conditions, and there's only one of them that really applies to this. And that says, a variance is granted for the lack of 3 men's sinks and 3 women's toilet in the bathhouse until modifications to the bathhouse are made by the 2027 season for the city of St. Clair Shores. So what we really, really need to do to be able to open up next year is add 3 toilets and 3 sinks, and now I'm being told that's $1.5 million. And I'm looking at a pre-demo blueprint here that shows me a big room that's on the other side of the toilets. Now, granted, that's the office room. We need an office. We probably don't even need that whole area, quite honestly, to become the bathroom. But then we have the concessions that's right behind that. Can that become an office? And for the next 3 years, while we budget, we move concessions to could be a food truck or something like that. We could go to vending machines. We could do something like that. And then we can start to set aside money and budget for this, which if this was coming to me and there was another 2 months or so that we had to make these discussions and not lose 2027, and the answer to that was no, we can't do it, we can't make it work, Councilman, this is why this post is in the way, et cetera, then I would be very comfortable in saying, well, we really have no choice. But unfortunately, I've only got that plan in front of me now. And I also note that there is a plan in here, or part of the plan, is that we're going to take every support column that currently exists, which to my knowledge is not structurally deficient, and replace it so that we end up with a pitched roof, which is good, because I'd rather have a pitched roof than that crazy thing that's on there right now. But we're at this point pretty much torn the whole building down piece by piece and then put it back together piece by piece. So maybe that's not even the ideal layout. Maybe the best thing to do would be limp us along for 3 years while we budget, and then come back with an entirely new building that maybe we can get full season use out of, or can serve some other purpose. So, just on principle, believe me, I want the pool to happen. And you know what? I also appreciate that an effort was made to save cost by reusing those pads. I know that was a big cost saver versus a complete tear down. So I do appreciate that that effort was made, but I don't feel like there was an opportunity for council input on this. And then straight off the bat, that would have, looking at this demo plan or looking at this blueprint, that would have been my input. Where do we move? If we can move the office somewhere else, then we could completely comply with the state for probably a cost that would be, you know, low six figures, for sure, just to add 3 toilets and 3 sinks. I mean, I know everything's inflated. I'd like to think in 5 figures, but, and we would have at least had that discussion. So we haven't. I got a gun to my head tonight to vote for this. I'm not going to do that.
Dustin?
Yeah, so I want to make a few clarifications. It isn't just removing the 3 toilets in the sink. That's to be able to get under compliance. But
This is what the state says. That's the gun to our head.
But we also have a dilapidated roof that the trusses are completely rotted and falling apart. We also have overhangs that where the roof currently is that are 6'2" or under, which has also created a huge liability risk. The trusses, like we said when we were out there, that roof, it has to be replaced. It's got to go. There's no way we can continue to limp on for 3 years with the current roof. The other aspect as well that makes this project is, I think Ray or Rob mentioned, is this does include an additional pump house for the kiddie pool. We were fortunate enough to receive a mushroom from Grosse Pointe. That mushroom will be then added. It does require additional plumbing and pump that kiddie pool as well. We have limped along, as council knows, for the last 3 to 4 years where it wasn't even working. We did temporary.
Dustin, I'd prefer to do these one by one.
Okay. I'm not in an argument with you. I'm just telling you.
No, but we're going to get so far down the road here, and I'm going to have to try to remember. So on a one-for-one basis, the first item is the concerns with the roof trusses. Okay, so do we have active roof leaks right now?
Do we have active roof leak? No. But do we have structural issues? Yes.
I don't see
anything
in here that says we're in danger of collapse.
And this was actually, and the roof and the pump house and the letter from Eagle and the preliminary plans was at the work study session. That we,
I have
as council on
I have the
this.
letter from Eagle in front of me right now. It deals with the water slide. It deals with the chlorine feeder. There's nothing in here about roof.
But because Eagle didn't care about the roof. When we got the engineer and the architect out there, that's what came up. That's why it was brought up at the work study session that we all had as council and staff to go over, that we had roofing issues, we had a pump house.
When you say roofing issues, that sounds to me like the membrane's got a tear in it or it's at the end of its life. Now I'm hearing, no, it's rotted out.
Correct.
So you're telling me this today. It was glossed over in study session as roofing issues. If I had heard rotted trusses, I would have a lot more issue. The idea that, I think the next thing you talked about was our overhangs, some of them are 6'2". I agree, they're low. But they've been low for literally 60 years.
But they currently do not meet code either.
Okay, then how are we operating?
Code is 7-foot minimum for a roof
Okay,
overhang.
but, so what?
So if we're replacing the
Who
roof,
comes
we
in and
can't
shuts
meet
us
code.
down?
If we are to replace the roof.
If that code would be triggered if we did new construction. But as it stands, the code's not triggered.
If we replace the roof, it needs to be raised.
Exactly.
And the roof needs to be replaced.
Okay, the roof needs to be replaced. You just told me there are no active leaks. So if there are no active leaks, why does the roof need to be replaced?
How old's the roof?
60,
Yeah, the membrane might be newer, but the
Well, exactly, the membrane is
but
newer.
the LVLs that are supporting it are rotted on the ends and falling apart. And some of them aren't even seated properly in the channels that are on top of those columns.
The roof on my house is 70 years old. If you look at what's holding it up, the shingles are from 2023. So this membrane was replaced. So if we don't have active leaks right now, and we may have had active leaks in the past, we don't have them right now, you're saying this roof can't go another 3 years?
No, I'm not saying that.
Can it be repaired? Can it be patched? Can we wait until we have some money in our budget for this?
There's a fix for any roof.
Exactly. Well, I mean, this is what we're up against. I don't feel like we're getting whole truths here. When I'm told something that our roof doesn't meet code because it's 6'2", well, yeah, that's if we tear the roof off. But we're not necessarily tearing the roof off. We don't have active leaks that have to be repaired. There is a way to put plumbing in, 3 sinks and 3 toilets, which is what the state is concerned with, by doing some reconfiguring. And I would have much preferred to have this discussion behind closed doors instead of open council, but I got this in a packet on Friday, and now I have to make a decision tonight, or we don't have a pool season in 2027. Well, that is not how I'm going to do business.
I can only state that we had a work study session that had all this information. And
Your work study session did not have all this information, and at your work study session said there are roof issues, which most people would interpret as the membrane. We were told that the whole thing isn't ADA compliant. It actually boils down to 3 sinks and 3 toilets. So I think it was oversold, and I think when we gave the direction to say choose the remodel path so we don't lose occupancy, that maybe at that point there should have been a committee put together, or there should have been more council interaction with this. That's all for now.
Okay. Mr. Karen?
Thank you. A lot to unpack there. Yeah, going back to the study session, that was the decision council gave, and actually the estimate we were given at that time was around 1.5 million and came in just a little over 1.5 million. So good job on that in terms of getting into your budget. When we approved the budget, you know, my name was invoked of, you would never go ahead with, you know, approving fund balance being used. We've done that many times in the past. But this was specifically brought up that we knew these renovations were coming. It was talked about at the study session. It was not included in the budget because we didn't know what the final numbers were going to be, and that fund balance was going to need to get used for that. Keep in mind, that's why when one of the items came in at the last meeting, I told staff, you're not taking it out of fund balance, you're taking it out of the miscellaneous fund in general government in terms of the contingency, not using fund balance, because we knew we had a large expense coming in that. And this has all been a part of this journey we've been on with the pool of getting this thing caught up from the 1970s in that. So in terms of how much does council need to have input on, you know, the way I deal with it, if I know a project's going on, I stick my nose in. I actually look at BidNet a lot and I see what's out for bid, see what designs are out there to get input on what's going on. So I guess, so Rob, you're the department head. How much were you involved as this went from concept in February to what went out to bid?
I mean, every meeting, as we designed this, we talked about what subtle changes we could actually make to adequately get all the things that we felt were needed with a new building, essentially.
While staying within a very close footprint.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, because the footprint's only expanding by 100 square feet, maybe?
With the little addition on the one end.
Yes.
A lot of that's for the electrical in that, correct?
Right.
Pump room.
They add the additional capability to the kiddie pool area to add the additional amenity we want to add, right? Okay. So I guess, I guess in the future, you know, it's kind of, I guess we do run into things where council does find out about things a bit late. I know I reach out to staff members all the time, asking questions. to find out about things. So probably going forward to Councilman Vitale's issue of, yeah, major renovations like this, this should be included in some regular updates. I know we've asked for construction updates once we're in construction season, as things are in design, to kind of reach out to make sure people are aware. But it was talked about definitely within February, definitely as part of the April, May, June budget meetings and approval with that. And I do think it's one of the tricky things when we're dealing with a building renovation. You get, Eagle says, yep, you got to meet this criteria, which they're saying be a minimum in that. And I don't think we're meeting the minimum in terms of just theirs, right? We're just not adding 3, right? We're trying to build the building to better suit 1,100 people at one time.
Correct. So there was a complete statute of the number of fixtures that were required for both showers, toilets, sinks in each. And when we had to modify them, then it became ADA as well.
Correct, yeah.
So you have benches, you have all the showers, the
Benches, spacing, things, lockers when you get moved.
The 2 showers that were in there were single pole showers with 6 heads on them, which are not allowed any longer. You have to have private showers for all women with curtains. So that stretched everything out. So there was a lot of give and take. We used the existing boater restrooms as part of the development of each men's and women's locker room. So we had to add the boaters back onto the other side of the building, which is where the addition for the pump house also went.
Okay.
So all that was under a new footprint, and like Rob said, it's like 350 square feet total for the pump and the 2 bathrooms on that side of the building. Other than that, we're sticking within the footprint.
Okay. And explain a little bit more in terms of the issues with the structure of the roof. Granted, it's not leaking, but what are the actual issues that you've seen?
So the LVLs that are exposed on the.
What are the LVLs?
So I'm sorry, the main beams that run, there's 5 rows of beams that run down from, I get my bearings, east and west.
Okay.
They run from the waterfront all the way back.
Oh,
There's
okay.
5 of them. They are all at different heights. So a truss could not go across them as they exist because they're all at different levels now. The LVLs are rotted on the ends and it's working its way back into the building. So any finish, any structural integrity on them is gone at the edges. The building is not being supported by the exterior wall currently. It has pipe columns and those LVLs and post columns to support the roof that goes up, down, up, down. At each level, at each peak and each valley, there is a beam that runs through these LVLs. Because of moisture condensation on the inside of the building being a bathhouse and improper ventilation, moisture is into those beams and we don't know how far it's gone. There is some sagging. We did notice some cracks in the block walls. We noticed other buckling.
Does the roof currently have any ventilation or anything up there that you
Not
have
that
on
I
a
saw. Not
normal
that there was
house
no
roof?
mechanical ventilation that was working, from what I could tell.
Okay.
So you're not getting the moisture and the vapor out of the building quick enough to keep it from impacting the existing wood that's, right now, there's no trusses, they're rafters, and there's a wood underlayment on the underside of them that is also impacted. You have paint that's protecting the wood, but there's areas where the paint's non-existent, or there's areas been somewhat patched and modified in need of desperate work.
Okay.
And then I would like to add too, I think we've all talked about, and we have struggled, there's no question, but the property that's on Jefferson Avenue that we have tried to sell has been, in essence, again, it's been tough to sell, and we're in the process here, and we might, who knows what that'll end up, but we were hoping to sell that for $800,000, right? And then that would be part of all, we had talked about this for a while to
offset the entire pool project.
The entire pool
Some
process.
part of it, yes.
Correct. And again, we haven't sold that property yet. I mean, it's been up for sale, and I think we're working with a developer today. But that money today, if it was sold today or sold in 6 months, is dedicated here to get to the pool. So to some extent, I do understand that it's coming from rainy day, but we have put that piece of land up for sale, and that was going to be applied to the pool. We have talked about that for a number of years. Other questions down here?
So, Mayor, with that, I'll make a motion to approve awarding the bid and contract for the pool building renovation and quadri construction.
Support.
Moved by Mr. Kieran, supported by Mr. Ribello. Mr. Rubello.
Yeah, I have a few questions here.
Yes.
Okay, the words rotted trusses were used. Is there rotted trusses?
No, there are no trusses. The LVLs are rotted. The beams are rotted.
It's the beams that are rotted.
Correct. Which support the rafters, which is the
okay,
roof.
it supports the roof.
Can I just intercede? Didn't we have to, I remember when Mr. Smith was here, didn't we have to put supports in there? Maybe Jason can, didn't we have to put supports to help keep those up 7, 8 years ago?
Yes, we had to replace one segment. They had to install a new beam in the front of the building towards my office front.
Yes.
But already.
That was sagging badly.
Yeah, and already it's already disintegrating because the roof continued to leak after it. And I'll just mention that last year, we had to have the roof patched in 100 different places.
Can you repeat that one more time?
100 different places. A roof company came out and had to patch it in 100 different places. And we're still getting leaks in the building, especially during the winter months.
Okay, and again, I am right that it was Mr. Smith happened to be the city manager, because I remember going there and it was sagging by your office.
Yeah, one of the beams was almost collapsing, the main support beam.
Okay, you were talking about, I thought that was important, Mr. Bello.
I was in your office a few weeks ago and your roof was leaking into the office, okay? Is that normal? I mean, was that set up?
It's because like Mr. Vitale said, the roof is a poor design, and so the water gets trapped on the roof, and it can't get to where it needs to go, so it finds the least path of resistance. So it comes into the clerk's office up front during the winter, it comes in the back, and it comes in especially the main support beam that runs down the center of the building. It's where the valley is on the building. That's the worst of the main support beams. If you look down that beam, you're going to see rot all throughout that beam,
And that's the rot is just going to keep rotting. It's not going to all of a sudden get better. I mean, okay. And 3 years from now, how much would this project cost? You think? Just estimate. I know you're not a wizard.
You get another 25 to 30% to this.
And that's tough for him now. You understand? That's a hard question. You put him in a tough,
100%,
just so that you're making it tough on him.
I don't mean to.
Right. I know.
Okay.
The point he's trying to make, it'll be higher. I understand. That's
okay. And that's all I had. I mean, you guys do a great job at the pool. No doubt. I've gone in several times this year. Every time, not against you, but if you don't come up here for another year with pool stuff, it'd be too soon. But nothing against you. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding around with you.
We all realize it. And before
we're making the pool a pretty.
Well,
I mean, this is a nice attraction too.
We all understand up here that the pool does not make money. We all understand that, and we have all made that. We haven't taken a motion, but we understand it doesn't make money, and we all have said it's part of this community. It's been part of this community for 60 years. We want to keep the pool. It gets great use, and we want it for the community, for the city of St. Clair Shores. And so we have done the pool house. We have enhanced the water sides. And this is the final step, and it's expensive. We all know it. I mean, the pool is named after Mr. Ellison, Eugene Ellison. So we know how long it's been here, and we want to keep it. So
I had two more questions.
Okay, then I'll get to Mr. Vitale.
Okay, sorry. The pool, the kiddie pool. Comment on the kiddie pool. That was brought up.
So really quick, I think Mr. Lynn already said this in 2022 when I came back. It had been sitting like a cesspool for like 3 or 4 years.
Yes.
It was bad plumbing, and year after year, we've made temporary fixes to it. Last year, my repairs and maintenance budget took a hit last fiscal year because it cost somewhere between $5,000 and $8,000 to get it open this summer. So the plumbing needs to be redone, and that was, and when we discussed that, I think it was Mr. Vitale showed interest in doing some kind of water feature in there, which has been in the plans for 3 years. But that's where the new pump house comes onto the main building, is that when we touch that pool, we have to comply with new code, which means circulation has to improve. A quicker turnover for the kiddie pool than it is now. And so the distance between the current kiddie pool and where the filter is not acceptable. So that's why the addition is going on to the new bathhouse, because it's right across from the kiddie pool, along with the second pump that will run the mushroom feature.
I think I don't think anybody's asked this yet. I think the biggest question I want to know is the use of that pool. What have the numbers been?
The whole pool complex?
Yes.
Yeah, 3 years ago, it was just under 20,000. In 2024, it was 36,000. Last year, it was 48,000.
So that
48,000 visitors.
So the pool is being used by an awful lot of people.
Right, and I believe that was council's direction when I was hired back, was you guys wanted the pool used as much as humanly possible. So that's what we've done. It's used from 6 in the morning till 9 at night.
That's pretty big. That's a big jump.
We knew that, and that we made the commitment.
Thank you, Mayor.
Mr. Vitale.
I would like to say that I'm glad that the pool's getting used more often. That was something that we wanted to have happen. And that none of this should be interpreted as criticism of the way you run the pool or the way Rob runs the department. My criticism actually is for administration above your guys' level, that we were not better kept in the loop on this. That this basically, the first time we see the blueprint is the weekend before we have to vote on it. That's my criticism. Not to you, but to our administrators. And the next point I'll bring up, and since Mr. Rubello mentioned it, is that, correct, the kiddie pool was stagnant, and there was talk at one of these study sessions that we just cement that in and create a splash pad. And I was the person who said, no, I can put a sprinkler in my driveway and have a splash pad. The kiddie pool is great. I've been to the kiddie pool over in Grosse Pointe. It's very much used, and probably part of the reason is they've got a great water feature over there. And when they took theirs out and put a splash pad in, I couldn't believe it. And I said, let's see if we can get their mushroom.
Yep.
Because that thing's awesome. I stood under it myself. So I'm obviously not anti-pool. I'm anti being kept like a mushroom in the dark and not having an opportunity. And to John's point about, well, you should be proactively searching these things out. Well, you know what? This is a job that pays us $600 a month, and I try to do the best I can. But when I'm not going to a resident's house to look at the shed that's next door that our magistrate said is okay, it's not on a foundation, or when I'm not trying to work on the firehouse to bring that in under budget with all the things that the firemen need, when we're not talking about contracts and getting lobbied one way or the other, I have to breathe. So, no, I didn't have it on my planner to call City Hall today and ask what's the status on the pool. That's what they're supposed to provide us. That's what makes our jobs doable, is being kept in a loop. So the other thing is I don't know what answers to trust, because I asked if there were active leaks, and the answer I got was no, and then I find out you've got water coming in your office. I wasn't aware of that. If I was, I wouldn't have said, do we have active leaks? So now I've got two answers here tonight that contradict with each other. The rotted beams, you mentioned that they're on the ends. So that means outside of the building?
Correct.
Okay, well, they're not holding anything up. Now, I do understand you're saying there's issues inside the building that are separate. But when we're talking about rot that's migrating into the building, you're right. I said the roof's a horrible design. I can look at a giant zigzag roof and think, my God, who designed this? This is terrible. So I don't disagree the roof needs to be replaced, and basically the whole pool house needs to be replaced. And that's what's going to happen here, brick by brick. But it would be nice to have been able, since we didn't sell the property, which we thought was going to fund this, that we had this budgeted for, potentially extend the life. Because somebody has to at some point say, we can't buy everything because in 5 years it's going to cost more. I would disagree necessarily that it's going to be 30% more in 3 years, because that's 10% a year inflation, and we haven't had that, thankfully, for a long time. And a lot of these municipal projects now are done because of the whole ARPA money thing, and I think a lot of contractors are going to be hungry because there's going to be kind of a dry period for them. So I don't want to see the pool season end. I'm going to vote no on this, but I know it's going to pass. But we should have been kept in a loop on this. We should have given input. I'd like to know the reasons why we couldn't have maybe gotten this out a little more, and maybe I would have heard the thing about the 100 leaks that we had to patch, which I heard for the first time tonight. So that's what I have to say, other than at some point we got to say no.
A motion was made by Mr. Karen, seconded by Mr. Rebello to award the bid contract for the pool building renovation quad rate construction LLC in the amount of, with the contingent, $1,767,573.78. Again, all in favor?
Aye. Aye.
All opposed?
No.
5-1, it passes. So just the date, so this will be right after Labor Day? And as we had with the pool house, right, Jason, we were up against it, so this will be almost the same way, right? I mean, this is, I said May 10th, I think Ms. Burgess said May 15th, right? So this is right up to it. So we've got to be diligent on it, right? Because Memorial Day is the opening day, right? We all understand that.
Correct.
And they do too, correct?
Yes.
Absolutely.
And then, Mr. Lent, are you working with Mr. Parker and the team up there regarding the value engineering?
That's correct.
And then will you get back to us? I mean, I presume you will immediately meet with them, right, as you want it, right?
Definitely. We'll get contracts in order, have them get their bonds in order, and we can schedule a pre-construction meeting as soon as possible.
And then work on the value, and would you get back to us with option, I mean, whether or not, there may be an option that maybe we have to decide on or something to that effect, but you will get to us on that. I will. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 11, consent agenda.
Move to approve.
Support.
Moved by Mr. Karen, supported by Ms. Burgess, to approve the consent agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed. Item 12, Mr. Lent, is updates and follow-ups from prior meetings.
Sorry, bear with me as I grab it out of our packet. Mr. Vitale requested a review of the city ordinances that the Water Resource Board has to comply with. The request for side yard setback variances from the Water Resource Boards are not very common. They are often requested in situations where a homeowner has an existing legal non-conforming structure that they'd like to replace in that same location. The current 10-foot side yard setbacks requirement does not seem to be in place, or does not seem to place an unburdened burden on most waterfront homeowners, and on occasion that it does, the city council's appeal ability provides relief where needed.
Can I comment on that?
Yes.
The issue I had with that is not necessarily that it's a burden, but I mean, it's several $100s to come in front of that board. If someone's moving a dock and we have a letter from the neighbor next door that says, I'm in favor of them moving their dock, can't we resolve some of this administratively?
So I think the concern with the neighbor is your neighbor moves out and it doesn't necessarily say, and that's for our legal verification that we use for our fences and our signs and other situations that actually come to a fence arbitration. This is a little bit unique because it does have to come in front of council, and it does require a little bit more legwork coming in front of council. I think talking to the CDI department is the fact that there are times where it does make sense that this ordinance. Now, if this ordinance you feel doesn't fit at all, then council can look at changing the ordinance. But if the ordinance fits most situations, except for some of these unique ones, which I think the resident who came here was a unique situation, that we were able to amend it through the council's recommendation, We feel, though, that there's enough times that this actually is a good ordinance that actually holds weight, that it's, when these unique cases come, that it's worthwhile to actually bring them in front of council and have council make the changes. But it is not something, but like I said, if council feels different and feels that they don't like the 10-foot side yard setback at all for any property, then that is something that we could look at and modify as an ordinance change, which would then change the recommendation that the Water Resource Board would say.
I would just ask, is the 10-foot, and that's basically a dock within 10 feet?
I would have to
the
give
property
us
line?
CDI to be able to answer.
A dock or a structure, just structure?
I don't believe a boat can be parked within 10 feet either.
Okay. Do you know how we arrived at 10 feet? Is that a
been-
state?
It's been
or-
in the ordinance for decades. I can see if I can find some history on it.
I guess I was just curious to it. You're right, it doesn't necessarily come up that often. I just kind of feel bad for the residents that have to pay that whole, to be on the meeting, to be on the agenda, to go in front of all these boards and everything like that, but, you know, I guess it may serve a purpose, so.
Mr. Vitale raised concerns about the house on 13 Mile Road that has remained damaged since a tree fell on it around Christmas. He requested that this be taken to court, stating that the situation constitutes an emergency health and safety issue. 23105 13 Mile was purchased last week. The new owners will be demolishing the house. They are waiting on the clearances from DTE and consumers. The demo clearances are taking much longer than normal lately. The neighbor at 23101 13 Mile is also working with the new owners to coordinate getting the rest of the tree removed, and then please see the attached email for more verification. Mr. Vitale noted that the Qdoba is not complying with its approved site plan regarding the.
Well, can I go back to the house on 13? I mean, I just drove by it on Sunday. I mean, it doesn't look like anything's happened, right?
Les, I actually have updated information from Denise. She says right now we're just waiting on consumers, and she has requested that this be expedited. And they agreed to that. They wouldn't give a firm date, but they did agree, especially given the concerns about school starting soon has been relayed to consumers. They did say they would expedite. They wouldn't give a firm date, but once that happens, the city is ready to issue the permit to allow demo to happen over the counter. So it's a little more updated, but still, I wish there was a little bit more of the understanding of the expediency on behalf of consumers that we have to be concerned with.
You know, there's only one word I take issue with that, and that is the idea that I think she says taking longer than usual lately. Lately? I remember we almost lost the AutoZone project at 13 and Harper because it took so long to turn the gas off to the abandoned Ponderosa. And in this case, we have a home that's crushed by a tree that has active gas and electric service. That's insane. Again, that's not us.
I know.
But where's the Michigan Public Service Commission on this that's appointed by the governor?
Right.
That's crazy. What is it going to take, a lawsuit where someone loses a life to get these people to act? And we've signed a council resolution on this before to the state, and no action.
Okay.
Mr. Vitale noted that Qdoba is not complying with its approved site plan regarding the required landscaping. Some maintenance and improvements have been made to the existing landscaping. However, full compliance has not yet been achieved. Code enforcement has been in touch with Qdoba on adding mulch to the existing planting beds, screening the utilities on the north side of the property, and adding missing landscaping along the south berm. And I will tell you, code enforcement has been out there working with them diligently and writing violations. Mr. Vitale stated that the car wash property needs improvements to its landscaping. Liz has been working with the property management company. They have ordered new plant material for the area near the overhead door on the east side of the property. They have also substituted some of the species because of the ongoing blight with the arborvitaes. Mr. Ribello requested written documentation explaining the city's process for purchasing fire equipment, including the distinction between union and non-union purchasing, and if union/non-union companies offer different pricing. Attached is the city's purchasing ordinance.
Okay, Dustin?
Yes.
I'm sorry to jump in, Mayor. Okay, that all came about because after we built this beautiful fire station, I saw some banter on Facebook coming from a fireman, and I thought to myself, I'll be darned, okay, because that's a beautiful building, incredible working conditions. And then this talk was going on, and that's the reason why I'm asking this question, okay? That, is there something we have to do in the future to go union or non-union bids? Is there something we do to separate it off? Because that was sort of, I got to tell you the truth, it was disheartening, okay? And listen, my dad was a Teamster 299, okay, mediator, the whole deal, okay? So if that's the direction that the fire department, wants to give us, okay, I got no problem with it, okay? But I guess we would need to know, is that the direction that they want us to go?
So that direction, I would question council, that direction should not be coming from any department, period.
Agreed.
That direction should be coming from policies set by council to give to administration. So that policy that you're asking for would be something that council would like to do. Reminding council that all of our purchases that we do are purchased with taxpayers' dollars. So we always try to go out to bid. We always try to find the best price. We always try to find the best price within the service as well. So we do look at all of the above. And council has the recommendation of when we bring the bids in. And if council were to ask what ones are union workers, what ones meet Davis-Bacon, there are a lot of projects that we do try to meet Davis-Bacon when it comes to CDBG and certain grant programs that require that. Now, that's not union, but meets union wages, which gives them a preference. On the fire station, and I would have to get back with you to get an exact answer, but I believe all the trades in the entire fire department were union work except for two, which I think one was window glazing and another one, I cannot exactly remember what it was. But for the most part, that entire building was built with union work, like I said, except for a few. And we did have union picketers that went out there. But as of right now, I don't set the policies. That's set by council and not by the fire department.
Thank you. All right.
I saw that post too, Dave. I'm not sure the person who posted that was actually a St. Clair Shores firefighter. It may have been, you say yes? Oh, okay, well then
I don't want to get into that
defer.
stuff,
But, I will also say that I remember the only dispute being window glazers, and maybe there was another one I don't remember, but I don't know how many union window glazers are in the area. Do they all have work? That's a question too.
Idea.
Okay. Thank you. We will move on to item 13, which is comments by individual council. Would have been Mr. Frederick, but he's not here, so we will move to Mr. Vitale.
Well, that came quick. I feel like I was just saying something. I'll be brief tonight. I know we do have a closed session and everything. The Kiwanis Car Cruise will be before we all meet again. I always look forward to that event. One of the things I like about that event is that usually I can roll down Harper the next morning when it's first daylight and count on one hand how many pieces of trash I see out on medians or anything like that. Maybe I can't say the same thing for the condition of the street in certain areas, and I am going to have to part ways a little bit with Dr. Pappas because there has been an evolution, unfortunately, in the car culture, which I'm very much a part of, that has seen the unfortunate, just as we've seen in Social District, teen takeovers. There are street takeovers. And I did attend a car cruise in Clinton Township that would be an absolute embarrassment. So I am going to say, so that we never have to lose the Kiwanis Cruise, that the police department has my 100% support. I will not, this is a family-friendly event. This is not a drag strip. This is a place to go ride around in the convertible, show off to friends, go to the parties, things like that, look at people's cars, which I enjoy immensely. This is not a street takeover. It's not a drag race. If the police feel the need to write a ticket, by all means write the ticket. You will not get any pushback from this councilman. that, and I'll just wrap it up there.
Thank you. Ms. Burgess.
Hi. Okay, so St. Isaac Jogues Harvest Fest is September 19th from 1 to 10 p.m. I got a little visual up there for that. They have live music, exotic animal shows. They're going to have the priest and the brothers softball game. We have a cornhole tournament, beer, food, tent, and the vendor walk. We still are in need of vendors, and this is coming up really quickly. So if anybody is interested in being a vendor, I am the vendor chairman of that, and you can reach me at 248-767-9961. It's a great time. It's going to be just, we just had our meeting the other day, and it's just going to be even better than last year, and I'm just so excited about it. Next is, of course, our Music by the Lake. This Wednesday is our last one of the season, so get out there, enjoy it. It's going to be the Catman Dude, which is the music of Bob Seger, so that'll be a great time. We also have the art fair coming up that benefits the St. Clair Shores pageant, and it is Saturday, September 19th and 20th at Veterans Memorial Park. It's always a great place to go. We went there, we missed it last year, but the year before that we went, and it was so hot. But it is going to be a great time, a lot of local artists there. Our Sunday market is, our Sunday farmers market is August 23rd from 8 to 2. We're going to be having a corn roast there that starts at 9 a.m. and until they run out. And that's also a great time to get in on that. So that's this Sunday, the 23rd, from 8 to 2. And then another one is dueling pianos. I'm always in support of our VFW. We have an amazing VFW here in our own city, and the dueling pianos is going to be the August 29th at the VFW, starting at 7 o'clock. One of my favorite things, Rick and I, is to go to see dueling pianos. It's a great time and fun for everybody, and that's all I have tonight.
Thank you. Mr. Ribello.
Okay, the Assumption Cultural Center's Greek Festival.
Go on.
Okay, the Assumption Cultural Center Greek Festival going on this week. Starting Friday, 5 o'clock ribbon cutting ceremony. The cool thing about this one, it looks like the U.S. Olympians are going to be there. Amelia, and I'm going to say his name wrong, Vadam, is that right? Vadam? So, always a good time for their festival there. I would like an update on the Frazard Park, to see what's going on with that. I know we talked about making some changes there. So I know Denise has been out, but
I think CDI can get you something, yes.
Okay, is that good? Okay, thank you, Mayor. Bike Fest benefiting cops. It starts at the Kids Cops for Kids. It starts at the Adult Ed Center next to Kennedy Middle School, and that's on. Is that Saturday or Sunday? It was Linda's notes. Okay, so that's going on this week. You can call Tim's Bike Shop, I guess, to get the exact date and time. I think I might have that, actually, Linda.
I do too, sorry.
That's at, meet at Kennedy Middle School.
22nd.
Yep, August 22nd.
10 to 1.
10 to 1 o'clock. Okay, bocce ball update at Senior Center. Does anyone have one? We get asked this a lot.
So there was a delay because they hit a line that wasn't marked out, but they are back working. They got all the trusses up. The roof is going on. So it's about halfway done. When I left there tonight, I can get you a timeline for when the whole project's going to be done, because I know they also tore up the bocce court underneath. So they are working on both the bocce court and the roof currently.
Yeah, some of the folks that belong there are really anxious for this, so.
Yeah.
Okay,
They're
thank
there,
you.
though. I can tell you that they're working.
Can we just piggyback that, Mr. Ribello?
Of course,
I mean,
Mayor.
right, the parking lot, I think they were there a little bit today, but that is for the Civic parking lot?
Yep, all the underground material, piping is starting to show up. I'll get an update tomorrow morning from them about where they're at in that process. But that back area where the containers were for the fire department training and some of our storage has been cleaned out, so they are going to start removing that material. And that's the next part of the process, is to get that underground going.
And actually, we had one pickleball court there that had a few, I think, an old pole left in there that had eventually heaved up. So I know they've been out to pull that out, and we're trying to get that fixed. So we do have one pickleball court down, but it is being we cut out and slowly here beginning fixed up.
Yep, we had someone come out, cut those, and then our staff pulled the old poles that were somehow still left in the ground under there.
Actually, a lot of work at Civic.
Okay, thank you, Rob. I had a little small conversation with the city manager before the meeting. These are the types of things I like to pick off from the construction updates, but we're all set. They're going to jump back doing it. I wouldn't have to ask you that if I had one. All right. So sidewalk replacement program between 8 and 9 Mile Road. How is that going? Is there any issues? So what are we doing with that?
Yep. So as council is well aware, we have, it's kind of a two-phase now. We have precision cutting. So we've went out and we've marked a lot of the area. Precision cutting has gone out first. They're doing anything that we could do to level the sidewalk. And then after that, Italia will be going out and they'll actually be doing the full removals and re-putting those back in. So as of right now, they are still marking the whole, obviously they have to walk it and mark it. They are still marking some of the north end, but they've already started working on kind of the south end of that area, of that district.
Now, if somebody says, oh, wait a second, that one should have been marked, how do we handle that?
We have criteria that we look at. If they have any questions, they can contact our CDI department.
And that'll only be in the district will do, and someone from 14 Mile Road won't be able to do that.
So as kind of mentioned during one of our work study sessions, and then during the changing of this process, because as council knows as well, we changed the process that sidewalks are being covered by Act 51. We are only covering the sidewalks that are in that district for the criteria that we have used on a yearly basis. What has changed though, if somebody calls in a sidewalk that is outside of that district, if the lip is over 1.5 inch, which creates a trip hazard, we will mark it and we will do it outside of the district. We will not be doing outside of the district for all the other criteria, which could be, cracks and grass growing up or like little divots that get kind of put in them if they are not creating a trip hazard. So the state's recommendation is anything over 2 inches. We are following anything over 1.5 inches outside of the district. Now, anything in the district, we're still following the same protocols, anything over 1/2 inch. But we are doing out of district. It is just limited to trip hazards only.
I had a resident approach me, this is different, I'm moving on. Thank you. A resident approached me at the event on Thursday night, the farmers market event at Blossom Heath, and wanted to know, and I said I'd bring it up at the meeting, really liked what we did on the 9 Mile Road configuration, how we changed it, and he was wondering, is it possible to do something like that on 13 Mile Road? He thinks that would help. I don't know what we would have to do to pursue that, if it even would help.
Well, let the chief take that back. I mean, I don't think he can answer that right now.
That's for the chief.
There you go.
Okay.
You understand the question, chief? I mean, you get it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll send you the guy's email that he sent me, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, chief. I'd like to thank the SEMSD for finally getting that watermark sign out there. They were complaining they were left out. I saw it a couple days ago. So the Watermark Restaurant, there's a sign there that says Watermark. So let's thank the SEMSD for doing that. And let's thank the SMSD for getting that banner across Jefferson Avenue. What will it do? Hopefully just bring a couple more eyes to the nautical mile. So that's an effort to, there it is right there.
Yep.
Thank you. So there's another one, hopefully in time, on the very south end there's another wire that goes up there, but I believe during construction, it was knocked off kilter or whatever. So hopefully that goes up in time. Next, we had a nice watermelon eating contest at the farmers, what was it? It's not the farmers market.
Thursday market.
Yeah, Thursday market. And thank you, Candace, and thank you, Linda, for helping us out there. That's probably, I don't know, it's somewhere 25, 26, 27 years I started this. It's lived on, and people have fun with it. So thank you for helping and participating, both of you. Okay, and this is another one. We talk about bids, and we talk about contracts in different ways. Sometimes we get a lot, sometimes we don't get a lot. So, Liz, I guess this would be for you, okay? We don't use this, okay? It's AI government contracts. It just sort of opens everything up a little bit more, and maybe it'll help us, okay? These are, using AI, which is what people are using right now, and using it and becoming more popular. And Liz, if you could look into that, and maybe by the next meeting, let us know what you think, if it's something that may help us out. These are things that are sent in the MML, and I don't know if we all get it or not sent to us, but you've heard me, chirp a lot about, how to get more bids. What can we do? That might be something right there. And this over here, let's get that scooped up. Okay, that's been out there for a few weeks now. We don't want that. That drains to the lake, the storm water, the whole deal right there. That's at Shady Lane in Harper. I'm not sure exactly who created that mess, but it's too bad that we have to go pick it up. Too bad the guy that emptied his truck out right there doesn't have to come back. But that's been hanging out there for a couple of weeks now, and if we can get somebody to pick that up. Shady Lane, just east of, almost right in front of Fleetwood Collision right there. Long-time business owner who's got to look at that. And I'm not sure what else I got here. Okay, that's good. And I got a couple things here, and I guess I'll send these to the mayor about study session ideas.
Sure.
Okay, I'm not sure exactly when the next, I don't think we
usually have one in the fall.
In the fall. And, of course, another complaint about goose poop maintenance at the parks, and, how do we do a better job with that? I know we do what we can, Rob. That's an endless battle. But what do we go out there once a week to do those? We got so many activities in that park.
It depends which park.
Blossom Heath Park.
Blossom. I mean, Alex is out there at least a couple times a week trying to we'll blow off the walks almost every day if they're bad enough. But, I mean, I could blow them off Friday morning, and by Friday afternoon, if the whole family comes through, then it is what it is. I mean, we try to keep up on it as best we can.
I don't know what else we can do.
There's only certain things we can do, too. It's hard to pick up. We can't wash it to anything because of restrictions, so we do the best that we can with it.
I know you do. And the last thing I wanted to say is about, it's 11 mile, now this would have been on the construction update, so I'm sorry to pick Dustin again, but the 11-mile road, is that, I haven't been by there, out in front of Lakeview, is that done?
It is not done. No. Nope.
Okay, because I thought
it's cut out. It's cut out. I don't know if they've cut out the south side's done. Right by the school.
I think the outside lanes are done.
Yes.
They're now doing the inside lanes.
Is that interfering with the school? Is the school started? Yeah.
Nope.
August 31st
It's cut out, but I don't know if it got poured today, Councilman, but it appears to be getting ready to be poured.
That's all I have. Sorry to go long.
Ms. Rusi.
Okay, thank you. First off, thank you, Mayor Walby, for helping to facilitate the Mayor for a Day experience for Elliott from the winner of the one of the items at St. Isaac Joe's auction, it was, I'm sure he had, thanks to you and the department's a pretty memorable experience, and some firsthand look. We used to actually I was one of the kids, they used to do this more, it wasn't an auction type prize, but it was thing we had to write essays, and they chose essays, and we got to like shadow somebody in the city when I was in high school. And this was something for like, I think I was a senior in high school, and I won the ability to shadow the assessor for the day. So we all went here. They gave us an overview about city government. We got to talk one-on-one with some of the department heads and key figures in the city. We had lunch. It was a really I remember it to this day. I mean, maybe I wouldn't be here before that, remembering how awesome that was. And it really just kind of opened up some of the some of the nuts and bolts and what goes on day to day with city government. A lot of people don't, understand exactly what we do, especially when you're a kid, and it was really cool to see that firsthand. So it would be nice maybe if we could look at what we used to do and maybe start opening up the opportunity for some other kids too, because it really can light some fires under some kids who want to further get involved if they, get to meet some of the people and see how things happen. So I know when I talk with Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts and, talk to them about what we do on council and what, there's always a lot of interest and good questions. And once you start connecting it to things that they know about, like they've been to the park before, they've been to the library before, and you talk about your role in this, before that, it's like they've been maybe to the fire station for a school trip or had a fire truck come. Maybe they went to vote with mom at, during the election or something. But other than that, their involvement and knowledge about what the city does and what we do is pretty limited, and it kind of makes it relevant to them. So maybe that's something we could look into, because I remember doing that back in 1999, 1998, and it was, I still remember it, and what a fun time that was. And we had to write essays and stuff, so even that process was interesting, having to do the research and, learn about it even before the actual experience.
Sure.
They worked with some of the local government classes at the high schools, or middle schools. That would be cool too. So thank you for giving Elliot a great experience. I have one issue a resident wanted me to bring up at first, just something seeing and I texted Kip about this, about the next time the Nautical Mile does the banners. Right now it says, "Welcome to the Nautical Mile," and then dash your home port, which your home port's a citywide slogan for a number of years now. So the Nautical Mile isn't designated your home port, it's the city that's supposed to be. And I know we're always very attentive to branding and consistency, and it kind of gets muddled when now we're declaring the Nautical Mile to be your home port when that's supposed to be the slogan for the entire city. So I know they have their own slogans and everything. Maybe next time the banners are done, there could be a little thought about that, just because it gets confusing when now it's Nautical Mile's your home port, but that's been the city slogan for what, I think, 10, 15 years now.
Right.
Not just for the one area. So just a consistency. I noticed that when I was going down, it's like, wait, that's kind of odd. But not saying take them down and put new ones up, but when new banners need to be produced, I'm sure these are going to get pretty filthy with the construction going on. Maybe we could take that into consideration. And finally, the one issue, a resident had contacted me over the weekend, and I think it's a really good issue to bring up as a reminder. Let me pull the ordinance up. He wanted me to talk about the influx of off-leash dogs in the city, where people go out to walk their dog, they drop their leash, they let the dog trot ahead of them. Maybe they leave and bring a leash. We do have an ordinance in the city. It's -8B that requires dogs off their property to be on a leash. No owner shall permit a dog to leave the owner's premises unless such animal is wearing a leash and is under the positive control of a person of suitable age and discretion, which depends upon who it is and the type of dog. Same with the leash shall be of sufficient strength and length to restrain the particular animal. So it's very reasonable. It's about your dog has to be leashed and what a reasonable type of leash is. Depends upon the dog and things like that. But the person not only has stated he's seen a lot of these, and so have I actually. there was a situation, I think it was a week or two ago, where an off-leash dog got startled or excited by something, ran into the road, it was hit by a car, which was traumatic for everybody, including the person driving the car who wasn't able to,
Yeah.
correct this suddenly and was expecting this. And it's not good for the dog. It puts the dog in danger. It puts other people out who are out and about in potential danger. Dogs can be unpredictable. And also there have been situations, I haven't heard of any lately in this city, but in other cities where you have a dog and an owner, the dog is being walked by the owner with a leash. They're complying with the law, but an off-leash dog runs out and attacks a leash dog and unfortunately injures or something worse to the leash dog. So dogs, if you take a dog out for a walk, it needs to be on a leash, it needs to be under control. You can't say, well, my dog's really good, I will trust him, because you always can't predict what dogs will do when they're startled or excited about something. So for the safety and welfare of the animal himself, along with other animals and people in the city, make sure your dog's on a leash. I had a question for Chief Allen. I would assume this, but the police patrolling, they keep an eye out for this. If they see this, they stop and educate the person, correct? And I'm sure it might get to a point where a citation's written, something like that. Okay, he's nodding, so people don't see him. Yeah, the chief is confirming that the police patrolling do keep an eye out for this and are involved in educating the people doing this and potentially writing citations if they do see this. So keep your dog on a leash. It's not because, we're being, hall monitors and mean, but it's because it's for the health, safety, and welfare, not only of your own dog, but other animals in the area as well as people. And this was a hard lesson some owner learned very recently, where his off-leash dog got scared or startled or excited something, darted into the street, and was unfortunately, I don't know what the outcome was, but it wasn't probably very good for the dog. I know he went to the vet. So one of the people who had seen this wanted me to bring this up as a reminder, because the people found it very traumatic, and it was not good for the dog either. So keep your dog on a leash if you're taking your doggie for a walk. And that's it. Thank you.
Mr. Karen.
Thank you. First, just back to the watermelon eating contest. Probably a shout out to Brandon and Jacob, because they absolutely love that event because they can break out the machetes.
Yes, they did use the
slice the
machetes.
watermelons.
Yes.
Brandon's very proud of the photo he sent me of his machete that he uses for that event. So,
yeah.
And surprisingly, 2 weeks ago, we did have an election. So congratulations to the city clerk staff, Abby, Amy, Kendra, Katie, and Steve, as well as all the temporary staff that comes on to help have a, not say successful election, but uneventful election is basically what you strive for, right? So great job in terms of, as a first, kind of brought, we've done the city election with the new voting locations. This is the first state election that was done with that. So I believe everything went smoothly. No issues to report back on. All good? All right. Great job to the entire staff. And move on to all the November work that has to go into place now. First from a historical commission, we will be dedicating a historical marker for St. Paul's Lutheran Church over on Greater Mac, and that's going to be on Thursday, September 17th. I believe at 6:30. I do have the invite in my email that I will forward to all of council.
Thank you.
So please put that in your calendars. So we'll be dedicating the marker at St. Paul's Lutheran Church, and then I believe their proclamation for their anniversary is going to be that Monday here at City Council on September 21st.
Okay.
And I did talk to Carl to tell his sister that this is what we all got planned, and so she can stop bugging us about it. That's all going to happen. So that is good there. Rob, I texted you. I need a new Arboretum sign for Bryce Park because somehow someone backed into it. I have no idea how, but did you find out how?
Did not find out how, but I did contact Brian because I believe he ordered it last time. So we're going to see if there's a surface mount one.
Okay.
Just because that one now is pretty much sheared off.
Actually, I think talk to Denise. Brian ordered the tree sign like 8-9 years ago.
Okay.
Denise ordered the Arboretum sign
Okay.
And all through the same company. We use the same company for all the historical markers as well.
Okay.
Yep. That, so, all right, thank you. And then, and Councilman Rubella, a couple more construction updates for you. I do believe for Playview, Consumers Energy is supposed to be starting this week to replace the gas main on Playview, so that way they can get in there, get that replaced, and then we can go back to doing the road replacement.
That's great.
So we got that news last week, so that was good. And I do see that the Alexander Street Sewer Separation Project has mobilized, they're on site, and they're starting to put in the new storm sewer, so we can eventually separate the storm and the sanitary for that section of the street and to reduce CSOs going forward, and as well give them a new road at the end. So good to see both of those projects. And that is it. Thank you.
Thank you. With that, we will go to city manager report.
Just one more construction update to add. We are having a pre-construction meeting later this week for Jefferson north of 11 Mile. So at that pre-construction meeting, we should have final direction on what the traffic flow is going to be like, and I will get that information out immediately to council, and that will also be delivered to all the residents as well. But as of right now, like I said, we're having a pre-construction meeting, so that construction will be starting in the very near future. So especially between 11 and 12, that area is extremely bad.
Yes.
We were able, thank you to the state, to be able to push that forward, and thank you to council to also help push that forward.
Item 15 is audience participation, a 5-minute time limit. Views and opinions expressed under audience participation are those of the individual citizen only, do not necessarily represent the views and opinions of the mayor, city council, administration of the city of St. Clair Shores. Do we have anyone? Yes, sir. Just need the name and the city you reside in, and then you can sign in. Thank you.
Mark Dreger, lifelong citizen of good old city of St. Clair Shores. So first of all, Mr. Rubella, that's Italia. That's got to clean up that mess that you showed.
Go get them.
So what they do is they'll put out a wheelbarrow for the mixer truck to wash his chutes in, and that's how you end up with that. Now, when I drove a mixer, especially in St. Clair Shores, I'd hose it all up, get all the dirt out, and push it up on the curb, on the grass, so you didn't have that. Okay, now, as far as this pool goes, the only way you're going to make that pool good again is if you bring back that 16-foot high diving board that was on there. I still feel the sting from, like, that was how you became a man in St. Clair Shores. You jumped off of that high diving board. So, but anyways, I'm glad to see you guys are getting it back together. I don't know about that building, though. Boy, that's in rough shape. So I don't know what you guys are going to do like with that. $1 million, that's a lot of money, man. So I took a flat roofed house, and what I did is I built the peak and put the trusses right over the roof in St. Clair Shores, over on Detour. So, you know, I had to level it all off, raise it a little, just like he needs to. I raised it with block and then put trusses, and it worked out good. It cost me $25,000 in 1995, and I thought I spent way too much money on that house. Okay, so what else? Let me think now. Now we're buying more police cars. We bought a police van so they could look good while they're moving. I think one of the comments was. Everybody, the AV guy got some money. The library, to me, it's AV guy. That's how it was in high school and in junior high. The library got money. Who else? The firemen's got money. Everyone's got money but one particular set of person, and that's my code enforcement. So what's going on with my neighbor's house, he quit cutting the grass, and because you guys said I have a shared fence, he had a bunch of stuff growing, and I was cutting it. I stopped doing that. I called in Richard from code enforcement, through Norma. He came over, and he's coming over every week and giving them a ticket. But the issue is here, now he's a slumlord. So do we have any kind of legislation or anything about when you're a slumlord and you're not constantly getting ticketed, that you can, that's it, you got to sell the house? Maybe we could think of something like that. And then also with Italia, they wet up the concrete too much. I poured from them guys in Rochester, Sterling Heights. When we were in St. Clair Shores, I got in an argument with them because I wouldn't add water, because I wasn't wetting it up. But they pour about a 7-inch slump on them sidewalks, and that's why it don't last. And if you look over at Memorial Park on the west side of Jefferson, just north by the fire hydrants, they poured that all wet and it's cracked already. So that's the issue with them. And what happens is you guys have inspectors that tell them you want, a 6-inch slump. It needs to be poured at a 5. Luigi Fernandez, that did the best work ever in this Macomb County, he never poured over a 4-inch. That's how much water you add. So the more water you add to the concrete, the less it's going to last because it's taken away from the structure. And that's what's going on with Italia. They're known for pouring way too wet. I was over with them in Rochester Road, right in town, pouring a double-wide sidewalk, 7-inch slump, water just pouring out. So, and that's why you see the seepage sometimes when they do the sidewalks, and then you see seepage next to it. It's because they're pouring it too wet. There's too much water. So I figured I would tell you guys about that. Let's see, I got a minute left. Yeah, no, I'm good. I think we're going to get together and we're going to figure out this 22926. That's the address, 22926. I want to find out who is, I know it's not Mr. Vitale now. I'll apologize to you too for, I'm very passionate about it. I live next door to it. So that's why. But 22926. He needs to not be owning houses in St. Clair Shores. And it's not just me. I have neighbors that are scared about what's going on. I have a 70-year-old woman, single woman across the street, and an 80-year-old woman across the street with one leg that I got to keep watching everything. So it's not just me. I don't want you to think that. So thank you, and maybe next time I'll write more stuff down. But
Okay, have you signed in?
Oh, I will sign it.
Thank you. Anyone else? That, we'll go to mayor's comments. I don't have any. We'll go to 17, request to meet in closed session as permitted by state statute MCLA 15.268, section 8C and E.
So moved.
Moved by Councilman Karen, supported by Councilwoman Rusi. Abby, we need a roll call vote.
Councilmember Karen.
Aye.
Councilmember Rusi.
Aye.
Councilmember Burgess.
Aye.
Councilmember Rubello.
Aye.
Councilmember Vitale.
Aye.
Mayor Wabi.
Aye. Good night.